All right,
Yeah,
yeah. Hello, everyone. I am national expert Connor Weatherly, and I am here. You can introduce yourself.
myself, Ojasva. Thanks for having me here. I'm a FIDE master from India, and I have been actually one time before here as well, but that was back in 2024 in December. So I'm happy to be back here once again, and we'll be covering Minneapolis Opens round four, I guess. Yeah.
hmm All right. Yeah, the games have been going on for, I think, about an hour here. So we have some positions like midway through the opening that we're gonna be looking at here. Which one do you want to start with?
I guess let us cover each of all top eight games briefly first, so that we'll get to know what is happening on each of the boards.
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
guess that would be a good idea. I've already got board number one in front of me, where I can see uh, Ivan taking on Sammy here, Narayanan here. I guess this guy is Minnesota state champion, right? If I'm not wrong, from Black.
Yeah, I believe that Samrog did end up winning the championship after the tiebreakers that were held against oh goodness, I think it was Charlie. I'm trying to remember who he was facing, but yeah, he ended up winning the tiebreaker, so he won the state title. So he's a very strong opponent, but of course his opponent is also an international master, very strong. I believe Samrog is supposed to be a favorite here, but you never know. When your ratings are so close, it's always hard to say who's going to win, especially in the position that I'm seeing here. I'm uh
Yeah,
I'm liking black, but that D4 pawn can also maybe be a long-term weakness if he's not careful.
true. Just to add up few points about Ivan, I actually covered uh, one of his games with together with Chris. And yeah, whoever are watching us, they can actually check that video as well on the same channel, wherein this guy actually defeated a grandmaster pretty easily. So we were quite shocked. Like it's like if he gets his flow, he's quite strong as well. The
hmm
guy from White. So I'm not sure if we can actually call any of the guys a favorite. I would say it's a fair fight. Yeah, as for the position, I also believe with Connor. Like yeah, I feel Black should be the one with slight edge. Maybe we'll just quickly go through the opening part. So it was a Nimzo, and then okay, not a very traditional variation, but okay. I guess White believed that White might have some initial edge. Let's see where did things went different. Okay, so this is the main first critical point of the game, wherein White allowed this exchange, doubling up its pawns and also leaving that d4 pawn quite weird. And okay, c5 break came in, and then okay, that is how we got this pawn on d4. And this has happened on the board, and this is the live position that we have currently.
hmm Yeah,
Like,
I actually kind of like the way that Black's done this, trying to create the double pawns. But at the same time, yeah, it's very double-edged. I'm not actually sure if anyone has an edge yet, but conceptually, I do like Black's space a bit here. So, but White, like I said, has the structural advantage. So it's gonna be an interesting one.
yeah, actually, what I am seeing right now, just two ideas from both the sides. Like, if it's White's move and if White does not take the knight on f6, the knight is eventually going to jump to d5 followed by e3, I guess. And even if it does not go to e3, it's going to sit there for a while, I feel. Secondly, if you take and they'll take with the bishop, then this d4 pawn is not actually a weakness. It's like, okay, it's supported by the bishop, it's not easy to attack. So I'm not
Yeah,
sure who's good or who's bad. That's same for me as well.
yeah. In this position, you're right. That's a good observation. Knight takes knight, I think, is probably almost a mistake. I think you got to play something like either bishop f4, bishop c4, or rook e1. All these types of moves to not do
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, we see bishop c4, which
Have
honestly was, I think, my top candidate as well, because you do want to stop this knight in exactly what you were saying, and now you can maybe even build up some pressure like rook d1, queen d3, and try and create some chaos against this pawn. Maybe you can scoop it up.
True. at least that knight d5 idea is completely stopped now. Knight d5 is met by queen b3, wherein okay, black is lost instantly. So I guess bishop c4 is a good move. And okay, maybe we'll move to the next boards quickly. We'll check them out as
Absolutely.
well. So this is the position on board 2. We have got Grandmaster Smith Ryan with black taking upon Andrew from white side. And I feel some Sicilian has happened here.
Yeah,
Uh,
this really does look like a Sicilian structure, and black looks pretty comfortable. White doesn't have many problems either. I guess it's early on in the match, so that's expected because Andrew is a 2300 level player. So he knows his openings and his theory, so he's probably still within book. But yeah, this looks like it'll be an interesting game with the grip that White has on those center squares.
right, sure. Maybe let's go through the opening part quickly. It's only been a couple of moves. So yes, this was indeed a Sicilian, wherein we are seeing some sort of pelican or something.
Hmm.
C4 happened and then G6. Okay. I guess this is not again the typical way to go forward, but obviously one of the variations that people like to play.
Hmm.
And the small noticeable part about this opening is that black will not play A6 until white commits knight C3. So white also tries not to play knight c3 for a move, but okay, eventually white develops its knights and then they play a6. Reason being that if black would have played knight a6 earlier, the b5 knight would jump to c3 and the other knight white would have placed it on d2. Just some small insights for our viewers.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is
Knight
all
e3.
known theory as well. So you can kind of see that these moves are very accurate, but also being played quickly. This is because both these players have seen a position like this before.
True, right. Obviously, both the players are quite experienced. We can understand by seeing their ratings, and yep, the game is going pretty fast. And this is the live version that we have. I guess we'll leave it here because okay, it's only started and both the players are still under theory. I believe.
Yes.
All right, this is board 4. I see some glitch happening on board 3. We'll
Yep.
come back to it later. And okay, what have we got here? Does not
Yeah,
look like orthodox position.
no, it does not. Dane and Jordan are both master level players, but Jordan is very much an attacking player. Jordan is very happy to sacrifice pawns, material, anything to get an attack against the king, and you kind of see that here. Jordan is uncastled, has maybe a few weaknesses in the dark squares that might be exploited later on, but he's lining up his pieces, really trying to get at the king here. I'm not sure really what's going on in this position, I'll be honest. I really do like White's position here. I feel like they have some large edge, especially after, I don't know, like even c4, c5 or c4, d5 and just opening up the center here. But at the same time, I don't see it like concretely checkmating or anything, so maybe black is fine.
Just because you mentioned that the player from black side, Jordan is right. It's a
Yes.
very attacking player. So what I'm feeling is, I'm just getting a gut feeling. I'm not sure. Is black actually thinking about some break with g5, like h takes, and opening up the h file? Black has already lined up bishop d6, queen c7, maybe some
Hmm.
bishop h check ideas later on if the h file gets opened up. Not
Yeah,
sure,
that could be
but yeah.
interesting. Um, yeah, in this position, I would seriously consider like c4, g5, and then I might even be okay with opening it and just go d5 and try and open the center and attack him because conceptually speaking, I don't think black has played this correctly with the king still in the center and those files open. So I feel like there has to be some kind of way to punish what's going on. And I
That's
think
for sure. That's for sure.
opening the center feels like the most natural way to punish black here.
The only way to keep the game going is that obviously, if king is in the center, you should try to open up the position. Just playing a couple of moves here that we are discussing. So let's suppose white has got two moves to disturb the position in the center. It's d5, c5,
But it has to
The
be
point
d5
being
because
that,
the fork.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah, true, that's for sure. And herein maybe black can just ignore this or something. Maybe just go knight e5, keep the game going. Suddenly c5, I don't think so. It would come in so soon. And if I can manage to hold some position in the center, later on I'll just play long castles. That's the idea. If black gets a chance.
Yeah, I'm not sure that'll work though. After knight to d4, it looks somewhat scary to me because now I'm going to be taking on e6 and break open
True.
everything and get some long-term compensation. I don't see the attack crashing through. Um,
Perfect. Yeah,
maybe
looks
there's
that way.
something. I just conceptually speaking, with the games I've seen in the past, white has to be like not winning, of course, but has to be pressing here. They have to be better.
For sure. Technically, it should be white that should be outplaying black. It's just like it's not easy right now.
No, of course, yeah,
And especially taking into the fact that, okay, if black is an attacking player, he might find something to make things complicated,
yeah,
such as this maybe. All right, maybe let's move to the next one.
absolutely.
And herein we have got Rishabh Jain against Irene.
Yeah, and
It's
Rashab is another one of these players that really likes attacking at all costs. I've faced Rashab, I think 2 or 3 times, and in both cases that I can recall, Rashab just went for it, even if it was maybe objectively a little bit dubious. Um, and I think in this position, I'm actually a little surprised to see takes here. I was expecting knight to g2 in that last position.
Yep, same goes for me.
But okay, we see
But
take. But I think Rashab's point is maybe he wants to attack or something. Because like I said,
I
he's a very young, very aggressive player.
Yep. What I feel is maybe white intends to go f5 on the next move, right? Like once they take on h4, which is the most likely move. This is definitely going to happen, and then maybe f5 on the next move.
Hmm. Yeah, that could make
This is
sense.
something. Yep. See, yeah, that was obviously forced, and then, but even f5, I'm not sure if it is a really good position or what
After
white has in mind.
f5, I think you can just take the f pawn, and it looks pretty decent.
Yes, exactly. Like, I feel the same way. Like maybe you can just take the pawn, move your king to h8. There are no checks. Meanwhile, but okay, it's not easy to play as black as well. I see these pieces being passive, but I see some other good idea just right now. G takes f5. What are you going to recapture it with? Most likely the queen, right?
Yeah, probably the queen.
And then I see some knight d3 ideas.
Yeah, knight d3 is definitely interesting. I was looking at that too. I'm wondering if I can get away with something like king to h1 in that position, just give up the bishop. But I'm not seeing any concrete threats yet that would allow me to do that.
Yeah, true.
Because my
As
my
long
idea
as the
would
queen
be,
is sitting on h4, it's difficult.
yeah, my idea would be you take on b2, I go rook g4, and then you move your queen somewhere, and I go rook g1, rook a g1, and just try to crash through or something. But after actually no, it may. No, it doesn't quite work. I was just going through the lines to make sure. Um, but yeah, takes. I think maybe an immediate king h8 could sidestep any of those lines, but knight d3 looks very reasonable. And then yeah, maybe your idea is to go knight f4. So maybe this is actually maybe knight d3 is better. I didn't see this knight f4 idea.
Also, knight d3 allows black to go bishop c5 later on to pressurize that f2 pawn as well.
Yeah, that's another good point. There is some pressure against the f pawn that could potentially be good long term, especially
True.
after yeah, if I go rook g1 and then rook g4. I did forget about knight takes f2, and because after queen f2, the king is no longer on the file. So yeah, no, I think knight d3 is quite a nice
So
idea.
just to show our viewers, we are discussing something related to this, and black has got bishop c5 next, maybe knight f4, right now attacking the b2 bishop. And it does not seem like white is getting any attack real quick. So maybe black might have some counterplay here.
Yeah.
I don't know what is okay. If I did happen, but okay, we don't know if black would take here or not. Meanwhile, let's check the last couple of top games here. Oh, we are already seeing some tactics here. I
Yeah,
guess
this
white
is
just
a
played bishop
nice
takes
move.
h6 on the last move, right?
Yeah, this is, I think, a fairly nice move because the idea is after pawn takes, of course, you go knight to f6, fork. But the scary move, pawn to f5, also doesn't work due to knight to e3 hitting the queen. And then, but does this work? Because after queen to d8, is that bishop going to be fine? I suppose after queen to g4, no, but you can't go queen g4. Maybe, maybe,
Okay, that looks interesting. Maybe we'll
yeah.
analyze it.
This
So
looks
if
scary.
f5 comes in, yeah, for just for starters, this is not possible because of knight check, and you lose the queen here. And if black goes f5, that is what we are currently talking about, to kick the knight first, and then black wants to take the bishop, but this is not possible as of this moment because of knight e3 attacking the queen again. But what Connor is saying right now is after queen d8, this bishop does not have anywhere to go to. It
Yeah.
is not kind of, it is completely trapped. So this
Knight
is
to
already a
f5?
crazy position.
Is the idea
Yep.
knight f5 in this position?
Knight
But
f5. Okay.
this doesn't feel so scary because that dark squared bishop, I think it's just holding the position together, and then you have like a rook to e7 or rook to b7 and swing it in from the king. So yeah, and after knight to f5, pawn takes bishop, queen to g4 check,
I
and
guess
then
just
king
king h8.
h8, and then
Yeah.
I don't see it. Even after like rook to e3, rook to g3, it's still not crashing through because I always have queen to g5. I wonder if this is a miscalculation, because I'm actually really liking black's position. Maybe
I was looking at some queen g6 ideas, but they seem really slow. I don't see any good ideas. Just hitting the knight, hitting this pawn, but okay.
let me see. So knight after knight to e3, queen to d8. Um, instead of
Do we have
knight takes
something here?
f5, maybe we try an attack. Could we go like
Queen of 3?
queen f3 seems slow. Queen h5 seems a little more aggressive.
Just to attack the knight and put some more pressure, not sure though.
Yeah, no, queen h5 should work because after pawn takes on h6, you go queen to g6 and pick up the c knight.
Makes sense. Looks good.
So yeah, maybe this is working.
Actually looks good.
Yeah,
But let's suppose if yeah,
because
if
now
we
the
look at
G
this,
square is
this is
open.
fine. Yep,
Yeah.
true. Bishop can always run back to g5 now.
So maybe this is well calculated. This is maybe a line that was, calculated through and considered when Paulo made this move.
Yep, true. We can also look at white's time here. It's 37 minutes for white, so white has taken quite considerable amount of time. So we can believe that white has calculated it through. And queen
Yeah.
h5 looks really strong. Queen h5 looks like a strong move here. So okay, we're already seeing tactics here. And
Yeah.
I'm just curious from where did this position arise? Maybe we'll just quickly go through the opening part as well. And okay, we have got some unorthodox openings here as well. Nothing
Yeah,
popular, just raw chess.
this is something I see quite often online played by the black pieces. Usually they're just trying to avoid any theory or complications, and I find black finds themselves in trouble more times than not, just because there's a reason the top players don't play this. It's not as strong as it may look, and it may work at the amateur level. But when you're playing, one of the top boards on a tournament, these players though maybe not like grandmasters, they still know their theory. They're still strong. They can still calculate a lot of these lines. So it kind of makes sense to me that black ends up in a little bit of trouble.
True. If I can just put in two simple points after these six moves, what I feel about this position is Black has got two little problems already by playing these six moves. First of all, this dark squared bishop actually does not play quite good role because of your pawns on e5 and c5. Secondly, you have left this d5 square open. If you leave it for a few more moves, it might become a weakness. And whereas, okay, if we talk about white, there are no weaknesses at all, no squares to go to. White is completely restricting the knights. Just some small description after six moves, which makes quite a difference in both the sides' position.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good point. Long term, this D square is going to be weak, and we'll probably see white try and exploit that, and black try and cover it up. In fact, even in the last position, I might have even considered pawn to d5 as black just to try to, plant something on the square and make it a little harder to attack. D5 working because since c3 is pushed, there's no knight to c3 to get any tempo at the time.
True. D5 should be the top consideration. What I feel why black did not play this is because of the E5 pawn, maybe like after rook E1, suddenly you need to consider seriously what are you going to do about this pawn here.
Yeah, in this position, I'm almost feeling f6 just because this looks like the same structure white would play against the Sicilian. But I don't think it's quite as effective because the white pawns are better poised for attack, and d4 might be coming at some point trying to rip open the center.
Like, why not right now? Like, obviously, we are not playing it. We can experiment anything, right? What if white just goes d4 and crash in right as of this moment? Is it backfiring?
It might not be. Yeah, what I'd consider here is probably, do we have e takes? E takes might be interesting. I don't know if
And
it's
still,
best. And now some like knight to b6 is what I was looking at.
and what if I just go, I don't know, maybe here. Maybe now you can just play short castles, right?
Yeah, and short castles was my plan. And
Yeah,
yeah, the
looks
idea is after if you went bishop to b3, I would go pawn to c4 in that position and block the bishop and short castle anyways.
got it. So what you just mentioned is if bishop b3 happens, then c4, and then you will play short castles anyways.
Yep.
Makes sense. So maybe it wasn't trouble immediately, but yeah, I would say these are the things black might have seen and black would have been afraid. That is quite a possibility. Or maybe black might have seen something even more concrete.
Yeah, and there may be something more concrete where white is just better since we haven't done 15 minutes of calculation like these players are
True.
going to do. We're probably missing some sharp line and the computer will show us that it's completely lost or completely winning or something. But yeah, this is just it is very complicated, and white feels like they're poised to attack whereas black feels a little shaky. So even conceptually speaking, this is not something you'd want to play.
Yep, that's absolutely true. Especially as black, when black played d6, my point about this dark squared bishop, okay, it improved even further, right? Like this bishop looks sad.
Yes.
And okay, then I don't think if one would see this position, they would believe that this came after e4, c5 on the first move.
Yeah, this is a strange position for sure. Uh
True.
and honestly, this rook to b1 maneuver, I know it's usually thematic,
Yeah.
but I don't know that it's so thematic when the c pawn is c and e pawn are pushed like this. But maybe
Actually,
it
this is
is.
quite
I'm
a familiar play position for Royal Lopez players, but obviously, I
Yeah.
feel black is few tempos ahead because for some reason it's like white might have something better in between, but obviously we're not actually familiar with the theory part, especially about this opening. I'm not even sure if this is an opening,
Yeah,
but
no,
some
this
roaches.
this is interesting. No, it feels wrong because normally this pawn is on e5 is on e6 in this position, from what I know.
True.
Which I don't know if that makes it better or worse for black. It
I would
does feel like
say
white missed
looks
something.
better.
Looks better. Yeah.
Looks better. Knight e3, bishop f8 happened, and then okay, we see some knight maneuver that happened in the match, and that is why we got this weird position. And okay, then white got this move because of that knight maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, this is the live position that we have right now. Black is still thinking. Black hasn't played f5 or anything else. I guess black is kind of shocked. Maybe black has missed this move, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not such an obvious move.
Especially you might miss it because you were not seeing it from here when white played knight h2 here. And suddenly, after a few moves, you have your queen on d5 and bishop takes h6 happened. So yeah, this might have come in as a shocker for black.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Let's
let's take a look at this next game here.
Yeah.
Ryan is playing the white pieces, and Ryan is a very young player. I think he's 10 or 11 years old, and he's already almost, I think, 2100 again. Because he's been above 2100 in the past. I think he's just been a little bit up and down recently. But so he's a very strong young player, and he's very dynamic. So I expect if black is playing, they're probably going to want to get some static advantages and see if they can push. Because I've played Ryan several times. I've lost, I think, one of the times, and I've won one of the times. And the times that I won, I just killed the position, made it dry, and let nothing happen. Whereas when I lost, I believe Ryan just played a very dynamic and aggressive style. And so I kind of like what black is doing here with all the pieces locked, but there's a little bit more tension that I think Ryan likes to play with in this position.
Yep, because what I can see in this position is white has actually created something on the king side, and black has to stay really careful, especially about this e5 pawn break. Like, okay, as of now, I feel b takes c4 is quite obvious. White is definitely going to recapture this pawn, and after that, black has to watch out for this e5 pawn break if it ever comes in crashing through.
Yeah.
Because this looks quite dangerous, and the theme is not to capture back. Let's say, just for example, let's just give me a move from black side, some example, like what would black play here? Let's suppose if black goes rook b8, for example. Not exactly the best move, just to give some idea, just give some example. White can actually play this move, takes, and then black is not going to take here. White can actually push it. Can just close the diagonal and then get your attack on the f file.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of a theme. And if you don't take on g5 next, I can even get my knight back to e4 on the next move. Even if you take here, I've got another knight that is waiting to get to g3 and then e4. And I've just sacrificed a pawn tactically, closed the position, and white will be trying to build some attack. Especially with what you mentioned, like Ryan is again one more aggressive player, then okay. These are the thematic attacking ideas white might be using. But okay.
Yeah.
This is the position that we have right now.
I saw a question from Chris in the chat. I think it was about the previous game, asking if knight takes g4 was necessary. I don't think it was necessary in the last game, but I also don't see any other better move on move 15 after knight to g4, knight h4. Knight takes g4 seems like just the most natural move, because what else are you going to do? You don't really want to push like b4, and I mean, maybe you can push b4, but really the only options are going to be like bishop takes b3 or knight takes g4 in this position. So it's just, I think black is
from black side, I feel
okay,
knight takes g4 was fine, but in this particular position, d5 was premature. Obviously, d5 was a mistake. That is what allowed bishop takes h6 later on.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe black should have just ignored d5 here and maybe tried to create something on the queen side. Let's say b4 here.
Yeah.
Try to open up the b file or get in knight a5, then force black to take here. I mean, force white to take on e6, and then black will play rook takes e6.
Yeah.
And that is how black won't fall for any tactics.
Yeah, and I think this is a very pragmatic way of playing it, just ignoring that attempting d5 push, but you have to have seen bishop takes h6 in that line to realize that this is really a problem. And I think that was just
So,
overlooked. It looked like a mistake to us at first as well, because f5 works, but if you've seen all the way out to queen h5, then you realize, yeah, maybe this is fine.
right. Agreed. Okay.
Yeah, let's go back to Ryan's game.
And oh, this is actually what happened. B takes c4 and rook a b8. Wow.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm actually really liking your move e5.
The same goes for me.
I
It
wonder
is
after
really
e5, do
tempting.
you take the knight with the bishop just to avoid this scary line?
You can. You definitely can. I would just take with the h pawn just to maybe transpose it to the same variation. Let's say if you take here. Oh, I see one more move here. Can we just get an e6 before taking on g5?
Wait, east.
Is it possible?
Yeah, e6. Yeah, can I take? One sec. Takes. No, I can't take, of course, because there's queen
If queen
g6.
takes g6.
So I guess you got to run your queen. And maybe I go
Because
queen to e8 or something.
yeah,
Just
and
to try
maybe
and
then I can just take on f7 first, and then I'll take on g5. And
oh yeah, no,
looks like
this has to be crushing. I think you're right.
and yeah, and if they just take maybe okay, I was thinking of playing f5 earlier, but maybe if they just take, we can still take it back due to the pressure on f7. They cannot take on e5 actually.
No, you're right. Yeah, maybe this is just really, really strong.
So okay, it would be great if white gets an e5 here.
Yeah, and
And I'm
e5 is
definitely
not,
sure white is looking at e5.
yeah, and it's not going to be a hard move for Ryan to find in this position. Especially he's such a dynamic and tactical player. He's going to be looking for sacrifices, and so pawn to e5, I think will be. I would be
Decisive.
shocked if it wasn't considered, and I'd be even more shocked if it wasn't played.
True.
Because like e5, I think is one of the first moves that comes to really anyone over 2000's mind, just because it looks so imposing.
Completely agreed. e5 is just so tempting. I think Ryan would consider it, and maybe we'll see it on the board. Okay, let's move to the last top board. And
Hmm.
we can see, oh, Dane is playing from white against Matthew. And okay, the game has already reached endgame. Quite surprising.
Yeah, and I actually really like White's position in terms of like how they're keeping Black out, but you also have to note Black is up a full pawn, so Black is the one pushing. I'm just saying I like how Dane is defending this.
True. But it's really difficult to hold on to this position. The difference maker in this position for white would be the king's position. That is what I'm feeling.
Yes.
The king is quite active. Once you play king d3, your rook is free. The
Yep.
only fact that you need to consider is that king d3 allows black to play rook d7 and maybe exchange the rooks forcibly,
I
which
don't know
actually
if
is black's idea on the next
conceptually
move as well.
I don't know if Black is wanting to trade rooks though, because this bishop is going to be more menacing than the knight in the endgame because the pawns are split.
True.
If the pawns were on the same side, I think Black obviously wants to trade, but with the split pawns, he's maybe even walking into a dangerous position where he could potentially lose because bishops, when you have split pawns in the endgame, for those who don't look so much into the endgame or maybe just haven't seen these types of endgames, bishops when they're split pawns are really, really, really good, because they can play on both sides of the board at the same time, which means that, you know, pawns aren't very mobile. If you find yourself maybe one move short, all of a sudden your pawn drops and white has really good winning chances. Whereas if all the pawns are on one side, the knight doesn't need to maneuver a lot, since they're all in one place, and now the bishop's maneuverability doesn't really advantage you in those types of positions. So rook to d7 probably is objectively fine, but as a human, I am always, you know, a little hesitant, because I do fear the bishop and its mobility.
True. One would like to keep rooks on the board, especially when they've got a knight, an outpost, and a better position.
Yeah, someone just asked, does the knight have any use in this match? Yeah, it definitely does. For example, if I can just have white play king d2, king e2, king d2, king e2, I would like to go something like knight g4, pawn to f5, knight to f6, knight to e4, and just outpost in the center. Something like that seems interesting. And the knight is also going to be, you know, fairly good at keeping the bishop at bay later on, if it can get on a square to trap the bishop out, or anything like that. Right now, the knight is just sitting there. It's looking pretty. It's saying, "Hey, I'm here. I've got equal material." But in the long term, yeah, it can be pretty good. Right now in this position, though, yeah, the knight is not doing so much. And actually, an idea to consider is maybe even going knight d7, knight to c5, uh, something like this, to get the knights to close out the bishop, and then you can go king f8, king e7, something like that.
True. Knight d7, knight c5 is always in here. Another plan which we can discuss is maybe black can simply just play king h7, king g6, king f5, and it activates its king in a quite fast manner, especially when black has got its pawn on h5 and knight on f6, so there are no h3, g4 ideas. And if I was black, if I will get three moves continuously to play, I will definitely get my king to f5, I feel.
Yeah, I
And
think
things might
that's
change.
Yeah, that is one thing. The only, you know, real way that white is going to hold this is if they keep the black king and knight out of the game, because, you know, being down one pawn, white, I mean, chess is a game of attrition. If black can force it through, they are going to win this. So one really good way to, you know, kind of force an issue is to get your pieces attacking, and in the endgame, the king is a really great attacking piece.
Okay, so we see bishop d6 happening here. Like, what do you
Yeah,
think? What's the main idea?
I'm not sure what the concept is on this move.
What I feel is if black actually leaves the c file, white wants to get in c5, I guess. Just to, yeah, I guess it looks good, right? Like, let's suppose, just for example, if black just plays rook b7, maybe white wants to get in c5.
I'm
Takes,
not
takes, suddenly,
I'm not a huge fan of c5 though, because
because of
now
knight
knight to
d5.
d5 is
Yeah.
available.
And the idea behind my move was, do I have something related to f5 now?
I don't think you do, because if you go f5, one, I have rook to b2, and I think I'm winning material, but I also have knight to c3 check, knight takes a2. And that is only going to be good for the black pieces, because like we said, the bishop is really good when they're split pawns. Now we're
True.
removing those split pawns. So even if you have, for example, rook to a4 and then rook takes a7, this is not going to be a good transformation for the white pieces, because you do want that extra pawn on the board.
True. So it feels like, okay, c5 might not be a great idea. Then what is white actually planning here? Then
Yeah, I'm not so
because,
sure. I think this is one of those types of positions where you don't plan anything. You just sit and hope that black can't break through. It's like holding a fortress here. Because, like I
yeah,
said, you're down a
because
pawn.
I'm just asking white, like, even if white considers that black actually wants to get in king h7, king g6, king f5, um, can would white actually try to stop it? Because if I'm white, I would actually want to go king f3 next. because I somehow want to get an h3 g4
Hmm.
so that this knight is completely restricted. This king is restricted. The bishop is already good. It's holding the king from coming to f8 or something. And I'm just asking Black, how are you going to improve this?
Yeah, that's interesting. So maybe rook b7 is not the move. Maybe you have to go rook d7 to force like a bishop to e4. But yeah, after this, I suppose.
This is what happened. This has been played in the game.
And then it looks like we saw king to d3,
Yes.
which I think is a nice move. And
And now, again, I would think if I'm Black, I would like to play king h7 here.
king it's interesting. The move that I was looking at was knight to d5. Since the bishop is cut off, I just
Oh,
want to trade. And if the bishop moves, my knight has now better squares than before. That's my concept at least. Because let's say I go knight to d5, uh,
looks
bishop
like
e.
an amazing
I,
move here.
after bishop e5, I'm looking at like f6. Maybe that doesn't work in this particular position, but moves like f6 I think are very interesting in this
What
position.
about this move here?
Oh yeah, this might work. This one might win a pawn. I forgot. Well, does it win a pawn? Yeah, it wins a pawn.
Not,
Yeah.
not actually. Even if you're not winning a pawn, I would say looks like a pretty decent move because I don't think once see the ideal square for in this position for Black's knight is actually c6. Reason behind that is let's suppose you just capture here. And even if you capture with the bishop or the king does not matter. And if Black gets in knight c6, obviously we're winning this pawn here just to show this typical setup. White can not actually easily enter into White's position, into Black's position. Even if c5 comes in, there's always b5 coming in right here. And
Yeah.
okay, White has to stay careful right now. Bishop cannot stay on the same diagonal, it has to move, and Black will just rush in with their king to d6, and suddenly the position is consolidated. It's quite
Yeah.
a simple pawn of position.
I'm a little nervous if we get king b3, king a4, king b5. If white
True,
all of a sudden has some chances here.
true.
Which is why I mean, obviously conceptually this is still right, but I think black would probably opt to take the free pawn since there is no way to trap the knight.
Obviously.
Yeah, but yeah, and once we take the pawn, you might still have the same idea of going king b3 in this position, and after knight c1, king to a4, and it could get a little scary.
Yes, I kind of agree to what you're saying.
I
Actually
think
looks scary. Actually looks
92
scary.
92 might be fine though, and after like bishop to e3.
You've got knight c3 something, not allowing
Yeah,
White's king to get to
exactly.
b5.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, knight c3. Yeah,
But still, it's like, okay, need to stay careful.
yeah. But then my idea would be
But
knight
I
to
guess,
e4. Yeah, exactly.
and after king b5, we have got knight e6.
Yep, and that is exactly the plan that I was looking at as well. And now you might have time to run your king in. So
Looks good enough.
it does. This is a really, you do have to do a lot of calculation if you're black before you go into this. But if this is working, then you're probably golden. You probably have quite an advantage. I think the last board we didn't look at was board 3. I'm not sure. I'm looking at board 3 now. This game does not look over. Moves are still being played. I know it says that OK lost, but I think this is just a DGT error.
Yep. I see the game being played on, and I see a really crazy position on the board here.
Yeah, this is not a resignable position. And if I remember earlier, I looked at this game because I was like, how did it end so quickly? And it was different. So moves are still being played in this game for sure. So I
And
think
it is
that's just
far
a
from over,
GGT
though
error.
I really like White's position.
Yeah, and the funny thing is the board actually says that black wins this, which I I think
Yeah.
it's possible considering they're up the exchange, but I think it's also unlikely because this position does look fairly menacing. That being said, rook to c2 is a very concrete threat, and if OK can't figure out what to do against it, maybe it is just better for the black pieces.
True, it's like it's a kind of position wherein the first one who manages to generate some good counterplay, I would say that side would have the upper hand clearly.
Yeah.
Especially in this position, yes, as you mentioned. Okay, I am not exactly okay. This queen was played from a7. Yeah, that is what I was wondering. Like what was the last move that was played? So yeah, black is actually threatening to go rook c2,
Yeah. And so
and in
there's
order to stop that, okay, it's not easy actually.
there's only one move, no? Knight e3. Otherwise you're just lost.
Yeah, as for knight e3, what I was thinking, like, what if black just doubles up its rooks and maybe still considering rook c2 in some positions,
Yeah,
banking on the fact that they have a
you're right.
great pawn on h3.
That is definitely something to consider. I wasn't so looking at this, but I think you're right. Um, After doubling up, this is maybe harder than I thought. So yeah, maybe black does have the edge here. Um,
Because if I'm black, I just want my queen to sit on b3 and maybe I'll just get in rook c2 on the next move.
so who knows? Maybe we did see resignation in this position because OK just thought this was hopeless.
Okay, I still don't feel that way because this is not the position wherein you would resign so quickly, right?
No, I
Because
agree.
what I feel is white does not want to get its knight back. Let's say if I'm white, first of all I want to move my rook away because whenever I'm moving my queen, this rook on d1 is hanging. So queen
Right.
a4 is actually a smart move. But if I move my rook somewhere and still rook c2 comes in, I still cannot move away with my queen because my d4 pawn would be hanging.
Yeah.
Somehow it's like queen a4 looks like a really strong move to me.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Um,
So
The issue
yeah,
with white's position is if you'll go knight c3, it's not stable there. It would, let's say black will just play queen b3 and then the knight would get hit by b4. And the knight on e3, we already saw that, okay, black might just play rook c7 and we're not seeing any good counter playing moves here.
maybe go like d5 or e5 and just try and roll your pawns. Honestly, e5 looks I think a little more appetizing because it leaves the d square open for the knight still just in case. Um,
Okay, maybe let's focus on this move for a while then. So is it too early to play rook c2 right now?
well, what's the idea of rook c2? Rook c2 I'll take.
And then again, I'll take with a rook. I just want to get in my rook and the queen both on the second rank somehow.
Sure, but after
If
queen
I manage
b3,
to
how
do
are you
so,
planning on doing that? So you can play it on the board for the commentators to see. Rook c2, knight c2, rook c2, queen d3, and I don't
and then
see your advantage. You're going to play what, rook to g2 check or rook takes b2. But then
I
I
think
can
so.
just go
I'll
rook to
just take the.
c1, and then you can never get in.
Yeah, that looks like a good move because you're already threatening something great there.
Yeah, my back rank threat is quite nice. And now this e5 move, in addition to pushing the pawn to get closer to queening, is also covering the h7 square. So this is I think a
You get a
good one.
bonus point for e5 then.
Exactly, yeah. I'll pretend that I saw that one. No. Um,
Even I'll pretend the same way. You saw that one. All
yeah.
right. Okay, so maybe then let's say black starts with queen b3.
Yeah, queen b3 right away seems interesting, but what is the threat? What is the concept?
Now
Because
the
now
difference is if you will allow me to go rook c2 next, after queen e3, I would have queen takes b2 directly, and your rook is still not in play, and I get both of my pieces on the second rank.
right, but can I still go queen d3 here?
And can I directly take the pawn on b2?
You might be able to.
Yeah,
And now I probably go knight to d5. But knight d5 might not work because you might still have rook c2.
it's just mate in one, right?
Oh, I'm being silly. I'm being silly. I forgot that the knight is the only thing defending. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's fine. Yeah, so maybe this is more menacing. So queen
Okay, looks.
queen b3. Yeah, maybe we can't go up. Maybe we have to play like rook to a1 or something. No, rook a1 is bad. Rook e1 is not tactically losing though. Well, wait, maybe it still is. Ooh, yeah, actually maybe queen b3 is okay, good. So queen b3, rook to a1. Um,
Wait. You're considering rook a1 in which position right now?
yeah, right now. No, but I don't think it tactically works. Um,
Okay, so are you still considering rook c2 there? Because I'm looking at that move.
no, rook c2 seems premature because what's the rush? I can just go like g6, b4, and
Yep,
just slowly improve.
true.
I have no rush. Obviously it has to be considered, but uh, I'm not feeling
The only
compelled to play
fact
it.
that, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. There's no rush to get in rook c2, but what I feel is that I don't see any counterplay for white side at all. The fact was that, okay, your queen was in d3, then okay, rook a8 was a checkmating threat, but if this happens,
Yeah, the knight takes.
and then again, after one single check, I don't think, do you have anything there? Or maybe queen g5,
Yeah,
just
queen
banking on the
g5 is
fact
I
that
I
there is
think
no queen e3.
queen g5, and I might even be almost equal now with some.
You can get in a check first, right? Looks better, I believe.
The check looks suspicious because now queen g5 doesn't work due to rook c1. You're mated.
Rook
Oh
c1,
no,
I
never
just
mind.
have queen takes
Yeah, yeah,
c1,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, you have queen
That is
c1.
what I saw that. Okay, black does not have any checks other than rook g2. But okay, the difference is rook
What?
g2 and queen d1 is coming in.
Yeah, yeah.
There is rook g2 and then queen d1 is checkmate. So maybe instead of giving a check, white starts with queen g5 and this looks better.
Yeah, and now
Oh,
maybe
but
rook
herein the
c8.
difference is, oh, this is actually a draw, right? Like after queen takes f3, queen d8 and queen h4 is a perpetual.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
no,
makes
in this
sense.
position, if you go queen takes f3, you have rook to a8 and you're checkmating.
No, it's like queen takes 8 after that.
Oh, I'm being silly. Yeah, yeah. No, you're right.
That's
So
why
queen takes
f3
f3 and
can
then
work.
perpetual. Yeah. So then
Yeah,
then you've survived as the white pieces then.
right. So, yep. But the fact is, as you mentioned, black does not need to hurry with the
Yeah.
moves. And
I really like G. Well, G6 is maybe weakening after knight to D5, so maybe not G6. Maybe just B4.
maybe we'll see like some moves happened, I believe. After queen a4, queen d3 is the move that actually happened in the game.
Really? Wow, I thought knight to E3 was automatic.
Yep. It
Because
is
after rook to
surprising.
C2, are you not just lost?
This also happened. Rook d2 happened. Queen a1 check. And we see couple of moves have
Knight
already
2
been
takes.
played.
Wait, queen G3, queen E1, and almost resign?
Yep. It is resignable. And instead of 0-1, this would be, oh, it is 0-1 still.
It is 0-1, yeah.
So
No,
it's like,
knight
okay,
to E3 I thought was the only way to try and stay in because it's too scary once the rook gets to C2.
so this was really unfortunate. I feel the game should actually be 0-1 this time.
Yeah,
I don't think we are getting any more moves in.
I don't either. Yeah, since now you're down not only an exchange but a rook. So I think this is just too much.
I see one more result in Ryan's game. He managed to break in through.
Yeah, it looks
Let's
like
see what did he
E5
play
got
in that position.
got
Yes,
pushed.
e5 did happen.
Yep, E5, bishop
And
takes,
then e6 also happened. This is what we
exactly
saw.
the line you saw, yeah. And then queen E8, and then E takes.
And
Hey, this
then
is the
took it.
exact line we looked at.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's
We're
like, okay,
psychics.
they are also kind of geniuses sitting here, I feel. Okay. Queen at 7, and then okay, yeah. This was easy, I feel. It's
Yeah.
like knight f4 is coming in, so many moves. This bishop is just crushing. Queen e6 is mate, I would say. Yeah, that's why they played knight e5, but okay, it's hopeless. And Okay,
Queen
fine.
c7 is a nice touch. The rook is trapped, so it's
Even if
just
it's not trapped, I guess the main idea is to just give a check and the queen f8 is mate.
yeah. This also I think is obviously part of the big
Yep.
plan.
And it's just, yeah, it's over.
Very impressive. I like we were saying earlier, we're not surprised that Ryan saw this threat. It's very much in his style to open up the position and crash through like that. So a very impressive game by Ryan.
Pretty much one-sided, I would say. And yeah, not
Yeah.
exactly an attacking masterpiece, but these maneuvers are actually kind of positional moves. Especially, I don't know how White got. We did not see this whole game, right? We did not see what opening happened there, but I would say, yeah, White actually started its maneuvering on move 9. That knight on g5, pawns on f4 turned out to be decisive.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how this guy plays, right?
Yeah. He's very dynamic, very aggressive, and I think he just really understood what to do, um, and was able to convert.
Yes, I really like the fact White actually managed to play patiently at first, got their bishop to b2. Maybe White already knew about the ideas. I'm not a very e4 player, so yeah, not aware about these themes too much. But I really like this simple concept. Get your pieces first, especially the bishop on b2, and then you break in with f4. And suddenly, the dark squared bishop has a great challenger.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, next couple of moves, it was already game over.
Yeah.
And yes, the star idea of the match, e5, e6, it's all done.
Yep. Yeah. Very nice. Very, very nice. Um, I want to take a look at Dane's game. I actually think Dane
Yeah.
might be better now, because conceptually, like we were saying earlier, you want to trade these
Oh,
rooks, and
got
this
it.
rook trade is happening, and I don't see a way to survive so comfortably after this trade, because now you're forced to go knight to d7. Yeah, takes knight d7.
Yep.
Otherwise, you are probably lost actually. And so now all of your pieces are playing passive. Your king is really struggling to get in. I don't like what's happened to this position. I actually fear that Dane is going to win this one somehow.
Um, like as White,
Takes 97.
what should be the main ideas to get in or something? Like as Black,
Well,
I can
pawn
see Black
a5.
just wants to get in f6 and then king f7.
Yeah, but white is going a5 in this position.
Yeah.
And then my idea is just c5,
Then
c6, and
okay,
I win.
maybe instead of a5 first, you would like to get your bishop to d6, right? Because a5, I'll just take. If you'll go c5, I have knight b8.
Yeah, but knight b8 I don't think is a problem because of king to e5, right?
Oh yeah, and then after knight c6, your king gets in even more.
Yeah,
Makes
because
sense.
after king e5, I actually think I win. Like it's almost over.
Yeah, looks like a great idea. Just a simple pawn break, and then you get your passed pawn in, and it's over. Especially because of this king getting cut off. This bishop is a star piece.
Yeah. So I don't think you can even afford to
And
take,
Black does not have
honestly.
a choice here. They have to go for this, and you might
Yeah.
actually be right. White managed to turn this one around.
Yeah, I don't know if it's winning yet because I don't think you're forced to take after a5 because the knight is defending. Like you could play your f6 plan, like I said, but then after pawn takes, um probably pawn to e5 check, pawn takes, f takes check, king e4, knight takes, and then like king c5. Black's keeping their pawn, sure, but I think at some point they're going to have to um, really be accurate or they're just going to lose.
Right, right. Not easy at all. Maybe we'll look at the top board. We haven't looked at it for a while.
No,
The
yeah.
craziest fight yet between the masters. And we see a couple of moves have already happened. Uh, this was the last position we left it at. And yeah, bishop c4 happened, and black actually played rook f8 here. Shows that, okay, white was
Makes sense.
actually, yep, creating something great here. Bishop f4. The fact that white is banking on the fact that bishop takes f5 is never possible because of just knight f6 and queen f5. Just
Yep.
to show our viewers, this is never possible because this happens, and then yeah, you just lose a simple piece.
Yeah, due to the check, we're not allowed to capture the queen. That's a good point. Of course, a lot of our viewers are going to say, well, of course you can't take, but maybe some who are, half asleep or
True.
something are not going to be looking at it, or maybe they're less experienced. This is just a combination that you see fairly often once you've been playing long
Yeah.
enough.
So black actually moved the knight away.
I like
So
this.
obviously now you have to worry about this f5 pawn. Now there is no knight takes f6 or something, and you might actually be losing a pawn there. So obviously white took here, queen takes, and then f6 happened,
Yeah,
ruining black's structure completely. And I really like this move.
yeah, and no, black has to be okay because they're up the pawn. But I
True.
think white has better winning chances in this position, just because this is such a weakness. Because I can almost guarantee, yeah, it already happened. Knight takes f6, pawn takes f6.
Yep, it did
These
happen.
pawns, I mean, it's like you have three pawn islands to this one beautiful FGH island for white. Like you can't tell me that black's have pawns so they're better. But I can say probably that's they're probably equal if I had to guess.
Um, the equalizing fact would be that, okay, black always have this bishop f5, bishop g6 idea, at least guarding the kings. And once black gets in bishop f5, they'll also get in d3. So I don't think they need to worry about the d pawn.
Yeah.
The fact is that at the same time, the other dark squares are quite weak, I would say. Especially this h6 square, white would try something like queen f2, rook d1, queen g3 maybe,
Yeah,
or queen h4.
I like this idea with the queen f2 because queen f2 comes with one very concrete threat. If you're lazy, you go queen f2, and let's say we see like I don't know, bishop to e6, just a losing
Got it.
move. Now you win the exchange after bishop h6 because you're threatening both the rook, but you're also threatening queen to g3 check and then mate on g7. And if you want to play that for the viewers, just so we see the threat,
Yeah, let's
queen
say
f2 is
I'll
like
just
right
play
next to it.
a waiting move or something like that. Let's
So
suppose
we see
queen
queen to
f2 happened,
f2, and then we see
and
this
then
waiting move.
bishop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
this is
now
made
yeah,
by bishop h6.
yep,
This is what Connor was saying. Like now the rook is under attack, but you cannot move the rook actually because it fails to queen g3 check and it's mate. So what you are almost forced to play king h8 and you directly lose an exchange.
yeah, and this is winnable from almost anyone at this level with the white pieces. So
True.
this is I think a little too much. Of course, Samrug is going to see this threat. This is not a super complicated threat. We do see, I think, queen f2. Yeah, we do see queen f2 with that exact idea. I think if you're going to play black, you almost like rook d8 or rook
Do
e8 in
we
this
see queen
position.
f2 yet?
I see queen f2 on the live
Oh yeah,
board. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, on the live
Right.
board, I see queen to f2 has been played. And I mean, I would be shocked if we didn't see like rook e8 or rook d8 from this position. Another move, you can actually go bishop f5 in this position. The idea is after bishop h6, um,
You can just
then
move
you
your rook. That
then
is
you
what
can
I
just
was
move your
talking
rook
about.
because after queen to g3, you have bishop to g6, and you are no longer mated. Though it does look scary because maybe there's some f4 in the future that could threaten f5 and crash through. So
Yeah,
if I
maybe
had
not
to
right
guess,
now, but it might come in later on. You're right.
yeah, if I had to guess, rook to e8 is going to be played rather than this bishop f5 move because it just seems a little too fancy. But it does seem um, maybe. Oh, we do see bishop f5.
Oh yeah, bishop f5 did happen.
Yeah, and this was the move that one of the top moves on my radar at least. I'm just surprised that we saw it because I realized that rook to e8 right away just gets the same position but without any complications. Because now after bishop f5, you have to look at like pawn to g4, for example. I don't think pawn g4 works here because after bishop g4, rook g1, you have this f5 move, and I think it's just good for you. But
That is still unnecessary complications. Like, okay, you would have to look at it even more concretely
yeah, and
because
of
there's h3
course,
as well. Like
yeah, no, h3 works.
g4 takes here, and then yeah, you've got this as well. And this is pinned on. I don't think
Yeah, so maybe you can't take
even if
after
g4
g4.
comes in, I guess black is forced to just go to g6 or d3 somewhere. Not d3,
Yeah,
it's g6. It's g6 for
no,
sure.
you're right. Bishop g6, and maybe black is holding. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, this seems complicated.
yeah, that is for sure. Do we see a move? Yes. This
Yeah, we
queen
see
h4.
queen
Both the
h4
players are
instead.
playing quite fast as we speak.
Yeah, which is a little surprising. Um,
I actually like this move. The simple idea that I've seen right now is, first of all, how are you going to defend this pawn? In order to
yeah,
defend this pawn, you need to defend it with the queen, right? That's the only piece.
yeah, queen e6 or queen c6.
And in both the cases, I think it is going to get hit with the rook, right? Queen e6, rook e1. If queen c6, there's rook c1.
Yeah, so very nice move to just win a free tempo.
True. And okay, this is still going to be one complex game, and I feel white should have some edge, though black is a pawn up. But the fact that white is actually playing almost all of its move with tempo and still going to get some moves with tempo, if black actually plays something like queen e6 or queen c6.
Yeah, which I
And we
expect.
never know if Sammy gets in something amazing.
Yeah, maybe there's some brilliant move here that we're just not seeing. You could try queen d8. It looks wrong, but I suppose it's technically a move to not get tempoed. But I mean, queen d8 is so ugly. If we see that, I would be honestly shocked.
So one of the moves that I was considering in this position is like, as black, would you consider giving back your pawn on f6? Like, what if something like just rook e8, you take here, and I'll just go rook e6. That next move, I'll go rook g6.
Yeah, this makes some sense. And we actually see this. And after queen e6, sorry, rook e6,
Yeah,
queen g5 check, maybe,
just rook g6, right?
and then yeah, rook
The
g6.
fact that, okay, black does
No, and
not
then
have to
yeah,
worry about mating ideas, and the next black will just go rook d8, push their pawn to d3, maybe just consolidate by giving up their pawn.
yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Because after, I mean, queen h4 here, and then bishop g3, maybe this is the plan. I mean, white still has to be slightly for choice because of the pawns, but
True.
yeah, it's less scary than maybe I thought. Yeah,
Okay,
but I
so,
mean, really, the only move to play for white is
oh my
taking
god,
this pawn here.
this is what happened. Rook 8 actually happened on the board.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that happen live on the board as well, and we're still seeing some thinking, but I mean, queen f6 is really the only move.
Yes, for sure. I would be really surprised if something else happens here.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe rook f1 as well, but uh, so fe1. I should have said.
Rook fe1, black can still play rook e6, right? And now not even give their pawn.
This doesn't feel right to me.
Okay, is something happening here?
No, you might be
Black
right.
actually just needs one more move. Black just wants to get in d3, and then they won't be worried about anything, I would say.
Okay, I'll probably go rook e6 here,
And then what if
and
we
then
just
queen
take with the queen?
e6, and then rook e1.
Yeah, this makes sense. And again, it's the same problem, right? Like, where should I move my queen? I have to support this pawn if I want to save it.
Yeah.
True. Still complicated. Not easy at all.
Yeah, and after like queen b6, bishop h6, I think might still be holding.
This is what we're calculating.
Yeah, no, it might still be holding, but this feels scary.
True. This actually
Um,
feels scary. I think we have some moves here.
not on the live board that I'm seeing.
Oh,
Oh,
this
okay. No,
also
you're right. We just got them in. We see takes rook there, rook e6. Yeah. And so now I would wager, yeah.
Queen h4 makes sense.
Yeah, queen h4. And then we're probably gonna see rook a to e8 doubling up, and then it's just a game.
True. True. I guess this is still going to take some time.
Yeah.
Let's move to the Grandmaster's game here.
This game is still looking pretty even. I don't see any real way to break through. I mean, obviously there's still more to play, but after like queen takes,
Okay, I would
even
consider
king takes,
black. Yeah, king takes looks natural. And
even I think bishop, king, and queen take are all playable here. I don't see any issues.
true, true. The fact that I don't want to take with the queen is I don't think I can make use of this open F file. Whereas I
No.
might have something on the C file. Not sure, exactly not sure about it as well, but still, if I would have some choice, then yeah, I would want to keep my queen on this on C1 rather than F1.
Mm-hmm.
And after king F1, the reason why I prefer black here is because of the passive pieces. Okay, I know my dark squared bishop is not working, but so is this light squared bishop. I feel the difference maker would be queen positioning. Let's say why black just gets in queen A5.
Yeah,
Um,
but what's the threat? I just go like a3 and you have no
yeah,
threat.
and then I just want to go bishop B5. That's my idea. If I get something related to my queens or something, I'm not sure though. If all of this is working,
Yeah.
or if anything is working.
Yeah. No. This is
But I feel,
interesting. Queen
yeah,
here.
I feel there should be some counterplay. Especially like right now, it's not easy to find a good move from right side.
Oh, 91. Really? Right? You're just trying to kill everything. Or knight b4. Or even knight d4 works, I think.
Knight D4. Knight
Yeah, because
D4,
the
I'll just take E takes D4, right?
knight d4, e d4, queen
Queen
c8, and I'm
C8,
mating you.
Queen C8, and then do I
Aren't I mating
have,
you?
is it?
Yeah, because if you block with the bishop, I go bishop h6, and I mate you. And if you go up, I go queen to e6,
True.
and I push you back and I mate.
So what we are calculating is takes,
j6,
takes,
queen c8.
Queen
Aren't I
C8,
mating?
and then we have got bishop H6.
And this looks mating.
Yep. Especially because after King F2,
King
we don't have
f2.
any checks.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. We don't have Queen D2. We don't have any other moves.
Yeah.
And so after Knight D4, at least
And then knight
White can
blocks.
just. Yeah, but this looks bad, right? Or
No,
is
but you
it
lose a
still
piece
fine?
otherwise. I'm just,
Yeah,
yeah, and this
obviously.
may not be what you want to play, but I'm just saying I think almost every move works here. That
More than working,
that's
it's
your
like you have to play defensively. But again, the fact was, it's not like Black is winning, but I feel Black should be the one with the upper hand. At least Black should have some edge.
actually in this position, if you want to get cheeky, you can go king to f2. Now, since we looked at the other line, king f2 in this position
Oh,
works
yeah.
because now you still have knight takes
Got
d3.
it.
Sorry, d4
Got it.
after bishop
And then
takes.
you go,
Same line.
and yes,
This is funny.
we get here. We get here. Right. Makes sense.
So yeah, no, I think that it's just fine for white.
True. Kind of an even position. White still hasn't decided with what piece to capture on F1.
Yeah.
And okay.
Shall we? Yeah, jump to the Jordan game.
Yes, here
Somehow
we are.
black has really gotten aggressive, and I actually like black now. Considering the material advantage and how open this white king is, this might be borderline lost.
I completely agree with you. I just want to know where this queen is going right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Should we? Okay, I'm not sure. I have to look at it.
Yeah, in this position,
The dangerous part is, as soon as the queen moves from this diagonal, I feel bishop e5 check would come in.
yeah. So I'm trying to think, where do we go queen c8 in this position as black?
Still bishop e5, I guess.
Yeah, bishop e5. Oh yeah.
So somehow,
Maybe it's not so clear.
yeah, exactly. It's still very double-edged, I would say. I was considering queen f5, but because of the fact that this a7 pawn is becoming a weakness again and again due to bishop e5.
Um, Honestly, this position is complicated. I'm gonna cheat and turn on the engine because Jordan and Dane are strong enough. Oh, good. Oh, God. Yeah, no. This is not even a move I looked at. The engine says the top move is rook to d4,
Rook d4. Oh my God.
which is okay. Let me play this out. So rook d4, and it says queen d4 is the top move, and after knight to d4,
Oh my God. Okay.
knight c.
We are noobs, I guess. We don't know how to play chess.
No, I'm not. Instead, yeah.
Oh my God. But do you feel how much of this is humanistic?
No, I mean rook d4. I guess it's Jordan is a crazy player. He could definitely see it. It's just ridiculous that this is possible. And yeah,
Actually,
the point is
this
after bishop
this could be
d4,
seen.
now queen f4 coming in and you're mating. Or maybe not
Uh,
mating, but you're winning a lot of material.
wait. After what?
After bishop takes d4 instead, now
I
queen
see. I
f4.
see. There's bishop e4 as well, right? The fact the
Yeah,
queen is cut off.
I'm cheating and I'm taking the top line saying bishop
Ah,
f4
okay.
here.
Got
Because
it.
you're right. Bishop e4 is something you should consider, but it's a lot easier to not consider it when I have an engine. So,
Okay, fine. Got it.
but yeah. And I'm sure there's something. Like I'll stop cheating now. But I was like, maybe this is just lost, and I was there were too
Oh
many
my God.
dynamics going on, so I said there's no way I can calculate this. Um,
Yeah, but makes sense. There are so many checks, both the kings being hunted, obviously, especially white. So black can actually give up too much material just to get in a good check.
yeah.
So yeah, rook d4, like I wouldn't be surprised, but I would be overwhelmed if this happens on board. I was like, okay, not easy to find.
No, I mean, but Jordan is he's been 2300 before. He's a strong
Okay,
tactical player. So it wouldn't be impossible for him to find a move like this.
definitely. Especially when I feel if this position has been around for a while, then okay,
Yeah, and
it
Jordan
is,
is really good
and
at
he
these
has time,
tactical complications.
and he has got quite some time advantage as well. He's 20 minutes up on the clock.
Yeah. The game with Irene Fey and Rashid is very interesting. It
Oh, we have got some
looks like white
imbalance
is
in hand.
is maybe a little worse after rook to h1. I'm actually really surprised we're seeing king to e2. That's not even a move I would have considered. Doesn't
True.
this just allow
Same
rook
goes
to
for me.
h1?
Same
Rook,
goes for me because
rook h1. Like after king g2, white is pressing, but after king e2, I think black is pressing.
yeah, because king g2 was such a natural move. Why would white play king e2 here?
I don't know.
White is holding on everything. White just gets its knight on e3. There are no weaknesses.
So what may be going through Rashid's head is, I mean, Irene is a 22 like 50 rated player.
Okay.
Rashad, I think, is just barely 2000. And so maybe it's just the psychological pressure of knowing I'm facing someone very strong just gets to him. That's entirely possible.
Makes sense, but still, I would say if there are only two moves to consider, then it's not difficult to judge, right? But okay, fine.
Yeah.
Something might have gone through White's mind. But okay, even after Rook H1, I don't think there's too much advantage for Black. Because White can still actually manage to build a fortress. If White gets in knight e3, pawn to f3, everything is it's holdable, right? There are no pawn breaks, I'd see.
It is
But
holdable,
still,
but it's unnecessarily complicated.
yeah, true. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, and we
This wasn't
see
needed at all.
this rook to h1 is probably going to be put on the board with. I'm surprised Irene hasn't already played it.
She
I
might
mean,
also be confused, right? Because
yeah, no, I would be confused too. I'd be like, why is my opponent giving me such a nice gift? There's got to be some strings attached, but I don't see any strings. And this is there's too few pieces to have any wild tactics.
I'll show you one good idea. I just saw one. After Rook H1, what if knight E1 happens?
I think I can still take. I don't think it's quite working. I see your idea. I just don't think it's quite working. Now I go rook to h4.
And I'll just play my king 2. Or let's say I'll just play f3.
Now rook h2 check
And here,
and rook c2.
my pact is that even if I just win one pawn in exchange of it, I'll have one passed pawn here.
King f3.
What
Sorry,
you mean?
f7.
Yeah, king
I'm saying
f7, and
f3,
I'll just take there. Yeah, it's fine,
and then
it's
I'll
fine.
take your c pawn.
And then I'll just. Oh, wait. Okay, fine. I'll just play knight here.
Yeah, it's not quite a trap. I was looking at that too.
Yeah, exactly. But if you will be careless, I'll just play knight b3, king d3 next, and it will
Yeah.
be actually trapped.
Um. Yeah, I'll probably go king to e8 here.
King here, okay. Looks okay, it's fine. Still, what if I'll just play king d3 here?
Do I go rook c1?
All right. Okay.
Rook
I'm
f1?
just banking on the fact whenever you bring your king here, I might have something related to bishop e7.
Yeah, rook f1 here.
And yeah, it's like it's enough counterplay, right?
Yeah.
Feels like it. Because again, if I'll go knight e2, we'll just play rook a1 or something. And it's
Instead
not
of
easy
rook
to
to
push
h1, we
pawns.
ended up not seeing rook h1, which is a little surprising to me. And then
Again, I it's the same variation that one saw, I believe. After knight e1, there's rook c4, and but I'm
wait,
still surprised. Rook h1 should have happened.
well, and then we see it.
d2 happened.
King d2 makes no sense. You have to go knight e3. What is going on? Like knight e3 is so obvious. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What?
that's true. That's true. That's true. I
What's
still
going
feel
on?
White is actually banking on the fact of that they really do they really want to go knight e1, knight e3? I would be surprised if if they just give up their h2 pawn and not go for this idea, because all of their moves show us that White actually wants to get in that maneuver, despite the fact it's working or not. I'm not sure, but I would be even more surprised if that also does not happen on board and
Yeah,
something
no,
weird happens.
I'm surprised that yeah, okay, now we finally see rook h1, I think. Wait, do we?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
We see rook
and this
h1
this
here.
is I think an even better version for black because now the f2 pawn isn't being defended, so you got to
True.
waste a move. And
Exactly.
so maybe Irene thought, my opponent isn't going to be able to see this, and even if he does, I think I'll be able to hold. But I'll be honest, after rook c1 knight e3, I might even be thinking I'm winning as white.
Yeah, I get your point. Because the coordination is just superb. And no weaknesses for white. White is holding on everything, as black, everything is a target.
I saw a comment from Chris Zweber. Isn't
Uh-huh.
two pieces for rook winning or better? Why would white be setting up for a fortress? So yeah, it would, if it was equal pawns, I think it would be better, but because you have this H pawn, you've netted this H pawn. And now there's some ideas of this G pawn potentially being passed if you can trade the F pawn or pin the F pawn or something. Black is the one pushing because all of your threats are blocked up and you can't get your king in, and all of the pawns are on light squares on the queen side, and your king is defending the dark squared pawns. White has no way to push through and make any progress. If white could get into black's position, white would definitely be winning. But because white is holding this in such a way that you just can't make progress, black has to be the one pushing here because the rook is going to have more mobility than the knight and the bishop. Even though, you might control more squares, it doesn't really matter in the endgame how many squares you control. You just need to control the important squares, and the rook is better at controlling important squares. So that's conceptually why black should be pushing here rather than white. And the engine may show us otherwise. Maybe white's been winning the entire time, even after this, what I think is a silly maneuver. But it's just conceptually speaking, it's easier for black.
True, true. But I also feel that white has been playing for a win for a while now. Also, we see bishop c5. Okay, yeah. This also makes sense actually. White wants to get a knight b4.
Yeah, maybe you go a5 here then, just to disallow it.
If I was black, I would definitely go a5 here. No
Yeah,
doubt about it.
a5 is also, I think, the only move that I'm seriously considering here. Because yeah, if we go a5, let's say we see bishop to b6,
It happened on
a4,
board. It
and if
happened
we
on the
see knight
board.
b4, maybe we even go rook to a1 then. Yeah, a5 on the board. Yeah.
Yes,
Uh,
a5 on the board.
and yeah, bishop b6 just isn't quite working. Because after bishop
Because then we'll just
b6,
play rook takes
a4.
h2. You can even
Uh,
start by taking the
rook
pawn,
h
right?
rook h2 I don't think is what I would have played, because after rook
Because
to
of
h2,
a4.
then I'm going to go a4 myself.
Right.
And then I think you're worse. I think what you have to do is push a4 as black, and then knight b4 isn't working because I have rook to a1 at that point. Um, yeah, and after rook to a1.
So maybe also black can just simply defend the pawn. So maybe white would just go bishop c5 once again.
Bishop c5,
Then
rook
go knight
h2 then,
b4.
and then knight
Yeah,
b4. But now I probably have like g4, g3, g2.
makes sense. I was just
There's
saying
no
that
reason
okay,
to defend.
maybe
No, because king d7 is too passive here.
oh,
You need to keep it active, otherwise you will lose. That's just you have to make threat. And maybe white has like a king c3 or king d3 or even king d1, c1, e1 or e3. All these moves I think are playable. Honestly, yeah, king d3 for example. Now maybe you can go king d7. But I think the point is you as black, the only way you're going to have any potential to push for a win is if you're creating these threats every single move. And yeah, I just like this g4 push because you can never actually attack this g pawn except with the knight, but the knight is on the wrong side of the board. So
right. Too much counterplay here.
yeah,
And okay, we saw a5. White is still thinking. Maybe white is outsmarted already.
yeah.
And okay, I
No, I
see another result. I see a draw on second board being agreed here itself. Okay, no more moves
yeah.
after rook takes
After
f1.
yeah, I would have played king takes f1 and hope for your line with queen to a5, a3, bishop b5.
Ah, okay, got it.
Just because I'm thinking, if this is played, it's obviously still a draw, right? But
Um,
who knows?
actually,
Maybe
black can just start with knight b3 as well.
here,
So your queen is already not on c1. No queen c8 checks.
Yeah, and now this is easy after queen e1. Trade. Easy draw.
Yep.
But you know,
Yep.
I'm hoping
Even
that
here,
maybe you on this position, bishop here.
yeah, just avoiding trade for one move,
Sure.
hoping
Okay.
that
And then I'd
I
probably go
might
bishop
get.
b5, queen b5, and then like queen e2, and it's a draw.
Obviously, it's completely holdable. Just trying to create some unnecessary threats. That's
Yeah.
all.
No, and that makes sense. No, this is unfortunately too easy because White's king is very safe. There are no pieces near it. Black's king is very safe. There are no pieces near it. But yeah, so I think a draw is a fair result. I just might have played a few more moves. Then again, you're facing a grandmaster, and you're basically you're a FIDE master level of strength.
Right.
So it's not a bad result.
True. You're happy. It's an equal position. Also, does not make sense to play much.
No, you're right. All right, shall we look at the
Oh, we did not see Rook D4 here in Jordan's game.
what did
Something
we
else
see?
happened. Queen A5 did happen here.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, now I feel you.
Queen a5, queen f4, and then bishop
Yep.
c3. Yeah, and this I think Jordan has just lost his queen. That's a queen trap.
Oh my God.
I think Jordan's going down.
Yep. From being +4, according to the engine, I feel yes, white's the one. Do you know what's the best move right now?
I would guess
Wanna
queen
take a
takes
guess?
b. Yeah, we see
Okay, it already
takes.
happened, but okay. In this
Yeah, takes.
position,
Queen b5, I
the
would guess is best,
one
just
of the
because
one of the moves that engine was showing was still Rook D4. I don't know what was happening here, but still, I'm already
crazy.
fascinated by the fact that yeah, Rook D4 is happening each and every time. But okay, obviously this is losing this time. This time it comes in a losing cause. White has got Queen G5 and White is winning a lot of material.
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah.
Queen takes B5 happened, but okay, now it's all over. I guess it should not be that difficult.
No, bishop c6, pawn c6,
Rook
and then
D1
like
and
rook
yeah,
b1, yeah.
should
Oh,
be
d1.
easy, I
Yeah,
guess.
d1 is nice, forcing the
Yeah.
trade. Because now you have to probably go what? Rook f8 here, try and keep threats alive. But even a move like queen to f3, just hitting that weak pawn, and what is there to play?
I guess it's over, right?
Yeah, I
Even
mean
this
queen
looks
f3.
better.
Yeah, queen a4 is even better than queen f3. I didn't even consider this. But now you got to go like rook to c8 now. And then what was the point of this maneuver?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think so. We should even look at this. I think it should be easy for White now. White only has to worry about bishop e4 check. If White manages to keep that move in check, it's easy.
Let's go to the board 6 game, the one with the bishop takes h6 move. This
Oh
seems
yeah, we haven't seen it for a while. What happened after
surprisingly,
that?
this looks like black is somehow held, and now it might be um maybe not lost. I mean, black maybe has some edge, but
Especially not lost. Like I don't know whom I would consider. I think I would consider black here.
yeah, black is I think slightly preferable. Uh
Though
just
I feel the
because
position is quite equalish because I don't see any progress being
no,
made from both
I
the
agree.
sides.
Yeah, this is absolutely. I mean, if engines played it, maybe there's a way to win. But as humans, I think this is probably a draw. But that being said, black does have the positional trump with the passed d pawn, which
True.
is maybe a little bit scary. And yeah. But the big problem is, what do you even play? Like, you don't necessarily
Yeah,
want to
that
bring
was
your
my
king
point. I'm
in.
really irritated by the fact that my knight is not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, maybe. Yeah, and there's maybe what you do is you move your bishop and then you put your knight on e7 and try and hop in.
And then what?
Yeah, and then offer a draw.
Exactly.
Yeah, good point. Um,
Exactly. Like I saw bishop f8, I saw knight e7, and I was like, okay, still I cannot remaneuver my knight, and I just don't see a way. And actually, the same way it goes for white as well. If white wants to play for something, I don't see any plans for white either. If either sides push too much, I guess they are the sides that is going to lose.
Hmm.
That's the only way to lose this position. One of the sides has to push a bit too much. Um, okay, I just want to see like what happened after bishop takes h6. Black did not play f5 because, okay, we saw the reason that after knight e3 and after queen h5, it's like white is getting too much activity. And yeah, this is the variation that we saw, and black cannot take because of this check. But this did not happen, obviously. Black saw all of it, and black played rook e6. Bishop g5 happened, and after f6, okay,
Bishop g5 is a strange move.
like, okay, I don't know. Where are you actually going to put your bishop? If I was white, I would actually just get back with my bishop to c1.
Yeah, bishop c1 is probably what I would have played. Bishop g5, maybe if you want to keep. No, bishop c1 is probably what I. But it can't be wrong, but it just feels weird.
True, true. As from my point of view, it's like it feels a bit unnecessary because obviously it's not a bad move to play f6 from black side. It's not like they're weakening their position. We don't have any light squared bishops, so this diagonal can't be exploited seriously. Secondly, black anyways wanted to play f6 at some point to strengthen the e5 pawn. I don't know, it feels like we are just helping black here by playing bishop
Yeah,
g5.
that's the impression I get as well. That being said, there's not anything wrong with it. It just feels like a move that I'd want to avoid.
True.
So bishop c1 feels more like a move that I would play, at
I'm
least.
actually much more surprised by the next move. At least here, I think white should have played just bishop c1. White has played knight e3 here.
No,
And I
93,
actually,
93 tracks, because this was the idea of the last move. He wants to go bishop h4. Like that's what he's told us. Going bishop c1, maybe it's subjectively the best move according to the engine, but
yeah,
psychologically that's hard to admit that, oops, I made a mistake, right?
I agree completely. Agree completely. But the fact that after knight e3, okay, queen d7 was indeed played, and now suddenly the d3 pawn is a huge weakness. Rook d6 coming in, rook d8 coming in, you just cannot defend this pawn. And I guess that is how white just lost its pawn back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. And then rook d1 I don't like. Why are you trading?
Yep. Does queen
There's
e4 make sense to you? Or rook a6? I don't know.
Yeah, rook a6 is the move I would have played. It's just a concrete threat, and then I'd double up on the a file.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Because, yeah, why are you fighting on the file where your opponent is stronger? Does not make sense.
No.
We have also got a file as a strong point as white, but okay, this did not happen. Rook d1 was played, and this is how black got its fast pawn on d3. Okay, I would be scared, at least at this point from white side, but okay, later on, after few moves, it's fine. Knight g4, again, I did not understand. Maybe this is a kind of move wherein you are just
No, his idea is
making a
maybe,
downside, right? Bishop takes
yeah,
f6.
I think that's his idea. Bishop takes f6 is, fairly concrete, yeah. And
But
here,
yeah,
and
at the
then
end, you just have to maintain the position. So knight g4 wasn't like a threat, just a one move trap, I would say.
yeah. Now queen e6, queen e4, queen
And then queen
d7,
b7, b4, and bishop
b4.
f8 actually happened.
Yeah, again. Yeah, and I
But
think this is going to be a draw. I think black is the one who's, technically better, but I don't see anything concretely better, so it's probably going to be equal. One thing to note, though, is you do want to be a little careful trading off everything because the D pawn is weak and the C pawn is weak. And if black ever gets in pawn to E4 and supports their pass pawn, maybe they start having some scary winning chances.
I completely agree. Though, okay, it's difficult to get into an endgame from this position. Like, okay, again, it's the fact that I don't see any plans from either sides. Despite the fact that I think we just have to hold down this position.
Yeah.
I don't think we have got any good ideas, but okay.
No. Yeah, I
Let's
think you're right.
check the eighth board, the bishop versus knight position, and okay, we have got something interesting here. Let's go from bishop e7,
Wait.
right? That was the
No,
point.
black
where
was
it-
winning here. How did this happen?
Yes, let's go through it quick. Bishop e7 was the last position that we left this position, this game, and knight d7 happened, and a5, exactly. Your move happened here. Takes, and then c5.
And then, okay, f6, good. And then we saw, what is this move?
Just to stop knight b6, right? After c6.
Yeah, but
But the
why
issue
not
is
just go
that,
why not go c6 right away?
yeah, they should have played this. I would have played this. This is the only move that you have. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is the only move you have.
Yeah, c6, knight b6, and then we just, now you can go bishop d8 if you want. I'd probably go bishop f6, but now you have bishop d8.
I would definitely go bishop f6. I would not even think about it twice.
Yeah, and then white has to be winning, right? Knight c8 is pretty much forced. And
Or
then
maybe, yeah, knight c8 or a4. I don't know. Yeah, but this looks
where
okay.
are you
This
going?
looks
No,
terrible.
no, no,
I was just playing
knight
either
e4,
a4 or
bishop
knight
e5.
c8. Yeah.
No, then I go bishop e5 if you go there, and now I'm pushing and I win.
Okay. Knight c8. Still. Okay, what is going on here? Should be easily winning. Okay, the easiest part that I see right now is I'll just go king c5, you'll go king f7, I'll go bishop c3. I'll just force you to play a4 and I'll collect this pawn. I just don't know what is happening. If you'll go king e7, I would just go bishop e5 or something. I'll not allow your king to get in. I'll not
No,
allow anything.
yeah, but after bishop e5,
Or
yeah,
maybe
this is probably a fortress then.
it's possible. It's possible. If I manage to get in my king a5, then okay, then I should be winning, right? If I
Yeah,
somehow
but
manage to get my king to a5.
no, but I don't think so, because let's say we play the big line that you just said.
Okay, there is one more idea. Yeah, instead of bishop c3, should we play bishop d8 here? So that king e7 or something never comes in?
Bishop here. Okay, go a4.
And then after king b4,
King e8.
and then I'll just come back maybe.
And then knight a7.
Okay, this makes
Draw.
sense.
Draw.
Sure.
Back to knight c8, same position. I'm just gonna
Yep.
repeat.
And if I'll just move my bishop, you'll just come back to e7. Makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense. Okay, very annoying, but okay, this is what is happening right now.
Yeah, this is the only plan, and honestly, my plan probably doesn't work. But as a human, it's hard to break through.
Let's see
I can
quickly
definitely.
what happened. Okay, this was even better for black. Okay, much easier to play now, right? Like, how are you breaking in?
Yeah, in this position, I think black is very happy.
Black should be.
In fact, I think black is just trivially winning. I actually don't see how a white stops black here.
A3, okay, this happened, but yes, I completely agree with you now. Knight b5, king d7, king c6, you've got no targets left, and black might be the one finally breaking in.
Yeah. No, this looks hopeless.
Lost. Yeah, this looks lost. Actually, looks lost.
What is
Yep.
okay? Yeah, I saw you just confirming
Yeah.
with the engine. Yeah, it's lost. Okay, good. Our
Oh.
intuitions are correct. I think, king b3, knight b5, bishop to b4 to attack the pawn, but after king d7, you can't take, because after knight takes, King c6, king b4. You can even push your a pawn to a5, and after takes. This is a winning
It's
king and
a
pawn
very
endgame.
typical pawn endgame idea. When you have a corner passed pawn, that's the strongest of all.
And you
And
just push a5 here, and then take the c pawn, and your king is close enough, so
and
such
you are
that
going to
white
collect
can't do
these two
anything.
pawns.
Yeah.
Yep. So
So
pretty
just
much black should be the one that is winning here. And all right,
shall we go back to
maybe,
board one with the two international masters?
and we see some endgame happening here with equal pawns.
Yeah, this is probably a
So
draw. I'm just looking at it because no way to
the
make
fact that
progress.
I have played Sammy once in a classical match at Fujairah Masters, I just know that he likes to keep on pushing even if he has very small edge, and I feel black should be the one with some edge here, right? The
How
fact
it
that
works?
they have got a fast pawn here and a light squared bishop, which allows them to attack this g2 pawn. Let's say, okay, right now maybe just b6.
Yep.
Black maybe just wants to get in
B6.
rook e2, bishop e4, and something. Though I'm not sure what.
No, this feels very easy to draw because you can't ever push your d pawn.
Yep, true. That is completely right.
And I can't think of a world where you can maneuver your pieces such that you can push. Because I
Uh,
might even just go
are there
rook
any
d2.
tactics?
Like b6, I might even have rook d2 is a little premature. But maybe like I swing back to d4 to keep an eye on the pawn, or even g4 works. It's a cute move, and you probably shouldn't play it because you're walking into tactics. But like even rook to d4, just cut off the king. I don't
I
know.
actually like this move for
Yeah,
the
and
fact
then
that you might actually have some tactics as well. Just for the fun part, if you had your rook on f1, bishop b4 is game over.
yeah, yep,
So it's like black also has to stay careful. This king is not safe at all, especially after rook d4.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, rook d4, and then I might even go like once I see rook e2, maybe I even go rook f1. Just with the exact same threats that you were talking about earlier. I'm planning on
Right.
maybe trapping this king.
Yes, so complications from both these sides, and especially, okay, what happened? We see some move. Bishop e4 happened directly, and
Yeah, I think that's also reasonable. Bishop e4 is, I mean, I think the idea is to threaten the G pawn just a little bit. I like rook to d2 in this position. That, or you can go king to h2 with the idea of like g3, g4, something like
yes,
that.
I like both the moves. I like both the moves you mentioned here. Rook d2, king h2, both make sense, complete sense.
Yeah,
And I think
I'm a little
both
more impartial
would be
to
played.
king h2 just because it walks out of the pin, but
Yep, both actually would be played sooner or later, like one after the other, I would say.
yeah.
I don't think the move order matters. But yeah, king h2 makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, more or less, this should end up in a draw. But I guess it would still be a long game unless Sammy decides to just agree the fact that okay, it is a draw and both players should take rest before the last round. I mean, yeah, before the next round.
The Jordan Tim game has gotten really complicated. I don't know
Okay.
what's going on because
Okay. Uh,
the king is swarmed. I mean, okay, so rook g8 is probably played by black just to avoid the mate, right? Um,
this has to be played. This is the only move.
yeah, I mean,
Yes.
unless you see another move.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it gets played.
And actually, you need to consider the fact that Dane has only a minute on the clock.
Yeah, and now what do you play? Like, because if you go a4, bishop h3, and
What if
I'm crashing through with the pawns.
okay, bishop b4? I'm not sure.
Wait, bishop before. What? Wait, I take now and I win. Wait, what? Because you can't take. What? You take, you run to bishop d3, you lose your rook, and I'm queening. Didn't Dane just miss bishop d3?
Definitely, for sure.
Takes bishop d3. What? Maybe we're missing something?
Oh my god, this is a complete turnaround.
No, this is losing now, and you can't even go like queen to d1 because I think bishop takes f1, queen takes f1.
Rook takes h5.
Takes f1.
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, rook
is
h5
it
with
fine?
rook
Is it
h2 is
fine?
winning.
No, point
Rook h5, yeah.
is it instantly losing?
Well, yeah, I think so, because what do you play? Rook h2 check,
And I'll just run away.
and I
Okay, then
queen.
I'll just f1, yeah, f1.
Yeah, and then I go rook f8.
Yeah, it's over. If we'll take, there is rook f8, and yeah, it's over. Bishop b4 is okay. Game of nerves have started actually.
Yeah,
Bishop
that's
b4. Oh my god, black played bishop b6
oh,
here.
Jordan.
Like,
Jordan. What are you
wow,
doing?
what are both the players doing? I'm just not getting it. Okay, according to me right now, bishop h3 and bishop d3 are the only two moves that we need to look for, right? What if we just play, let's say, rook d1 here? Is it completely losing?
Rook d1.
What tactics do we have here? Is
Bishop
it,
h3,
yeah, that is what I was looking
and
at
then
as well.
g2. I don't know
Ah,
if I don't know if it works though.
I agree with you on that point as well, but I also don't know the refutation to it.
I
So
don't either.
I'm just quietly looking at the position if I can find something.
Can we go rook d5? No, because then we just queen. We don't even have to
Yes,
recapture.
d1 queen.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then that's fine.
Oh my god, what kind of position is this? Where on earth do we get these kind of
I
plays?
really like Jordan's chances to win.
And we see another move, queen c4 being happening here, and okay.
I think queen c4 is probably a good move. And now we're probably going
Yes,
to see like king to b7 to defend.
right. As long as white is continuously making threats, white should be the one that should win this game still. But yeah, the fact was that if black would have captured here, it's like, I don't know. I feel black should be the one that is winning.
Yeah, maybe there's some refutation, but this looks really bad. This looks really bad.
The issue is the rook takes b4 is a move which you definitely cannot make. Secondly, you cannot move away with your queen. You just cannot allow bishop e4. It's mate.
Yeah.
So if you cannot make any threats, I feel black is just getting in.
Yeah.
But okay, this unfortunately did not happen. Queen c4 is on the board. And still, we need to consider the fact that Dane has less than a minute on the clock. There, we might see few more misses and different kinds of moves here.
Yeah.
King
And
b7
king
was
b7,
forced.
the move that I was saying, I think is really the only reasonable play. And yeah, I think that's
Maybe we'll stay on this game for a while because I see we'll be getting quite good updates.
yeah, I think
Continuous.
that's true. Once Dane makes a move, at least we'll take a look. I think Jordan is gonna take his time in this, really figure it
True.
out. I think rook c1, yeah, rook
And
c1
bishop d7 happened.
and bishop
Okay,
d.
now I feel slowly and steadily white should just not. The issue, I still feel the issue is as soon as one pair of rooks gets exchanged, bishop h3 might come in.
No, but okay, rook d1 here I think is fine, no? Because if you exchange rooks, the
Because of
problem is
this gate
after
rook.
rook d1,
Yeah.
let's see,
This
bishop h3 no
did
longer
happen?
works. No, I don't think so, not yet. Maybe it did.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, because I think this exchange just doesn't work. Because after takes bishop h3 doesn't work. Because after takes, I have takes on g8 at the very least.
So this time we got this position, and yeah,
And
after G1, it's like,
yeah, now you're up a rook.
but
Yeah,
are you
you
winning?
um takes. Oh, okay, so
Point is
takes,
whatever check you give in, I'll play bishop c7.
check, takes, push, queen takes. Yeah, that's a good point. I missed this. So maybe instead you go rook d7 right away, and then force
And
bishop
here,
c7.
yeah,
No, sorry, going back.
yeah.
But before you take the rook, maybe you go rook d7 right away. Just change the order because now there's no. And
Still only move.
no, but now I go rook takes, and after king takes, queen f7, and then king b6, and then I take on f2 with check.
Yeah, that was smart. That is smart. And yeah, this way white is winning. So just twist of move orders, and yep, this is
Yeah.
pretty much it. Good job finding it. And okay, so maybe
Okay.
now it's time to switch. What is happening on, oh, Rishabh's game?
This looks trash now. I still think black
I still feel
has
black would, yeah.
some pushing, but it looks trash now. Before I would have told you that black might win, but now I'm thinking it's petering out.
I still feel black would keep pushing for a while. There's no
Yeah.
harm. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
at the end,
they're gonna push as hard as they can, and she might still make some magic happen. Like Rishabh is clearly uncomfortable because he took what I thought was a win and he's turned it into a draw where maybe he's slightly worse. And yeah, king f5, then probably what, king e2, just trying to hold.
yep, king e2 might happen.
I mean, king e2 is just. I mean, literally everything works. You could go bishop b4, bishop b6, king e2, knight d2,
Just hold down the port, it's fine, more or
bishop,
less.
yeah, king e3. Like everything draws. It's just, yeah, king e2 is simple.
Yep, agreed. Maybe let's check out. I see some progress being made here.
Which game?
Uh,
Justin one. Yeah.
it's yeah, Justin's game, and okay, we'll quickly see what happened after bishop f8. G4 was played, so okay, white tried to do something. G4 is okay. I think unnecessary, but also kind of harmless. And C4 is what makes complete difference. I don't know if this was needed or not. Same goes for G4. I'm not sure if that was needed. And
Hmm.
same goes for this move. The fact that I was telling you, until one side tries to push in too much, there's no play for either sides. And suddenly I feel both sides have some play, but I would prefer black.
I'm in the same camp here.
Yep. Because white is the one that has made weaknesses. Black is solid as ever. And you still cannot touch this d3 pawn. So black is actually happy until this pawn is in danger. b5 happened. We see knight c8. I like this move. I also like knight b6.
Yeah.
And okay,
Takes here.
queen d4. And the fact this knight just cannot go anywhere. It looks good. Queen e4 and queen d6 was played.
Yeah.
Do
Queen
we
d6
have
makes sense.
something better here?
Not
Uh,
really, no.
no, I was just looking at queen b2 here, attacking this b5 pawn. Rook d3 is met by queen b1.
No, but he's just going to go to C. So, no, C6 doesn't work. Well, no, it does. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it could be two.
Now queen c6, I feel you can just take and go queen e2, right? Everything is
Yeah, and then
hanging.
after queen c1, then you take the f pawn. That's not so good.
I think black should be just winning there. Knight d5 is coming in,
Yeah.
and f3 is hanging, and everything is hanging.
Yeah, so this is bad. You're right.
So yeah, this is the move that I was looking at. Maybe queen b2 looks like a much more active move because okay, how are you going to defend this b5 pawn otherwise?
Yeah. No, I think you're correct.
Also, we have got queen e2, which looks even better. It's like just game over if white allows queen e2, right? Okay, not sure, but okay, queen b2
Yeah,
was a very
I'm
good move.
calculating. Yeah, queen b2 I think is a far better play. Maybe the engines can hold, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah,
Okay,
we can
let's
check the
check
engine if you
that
want.
as well. Yeah,
No, you're right.
that was
Queen b2 is winning. Good find,
queen
good find.
b2 is just game over. It's +2.
Yeah, but okay, queen d6, not quite as accurate, I guess. And then yeah, knight f5, bishop f2 takes queen c5 here.
And they eventually won a pawn, but I feel white might have some good counterplay with that knight on f5.
Yeah, no, I actually yeah, and this looks drawish. Rook d7, queen b8, and then like
And then you have got queen e8 as well.
yeah, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'd go queen e8, and I'm just gonna perpetual you. There's
True.
there's not much else to do. Um,
I guess this is kind of the only move. I don't see any other good move.
no, and
And
then queen check, and
queen
then queen e8.
here, and then we are looking at this. Okay.
And I think it's just a draw.
Yeah, I don't think black can actually avoid many things. Also, I feel they actually have to move this rook right now, otherwise there's knight e7 as well.
Yeah.
But okay.
So looking at the Dane Zagar game, Matthew really messed this one up. From winning, he just sacked a pawn for no reason, and now I think it's back in Dane's
Oh my
court.
god. What actually happened here? So
He did not go knight to b4. I have no clue why you like knight b4 is so straightforward. There's nothing even to consider.
I completely agree. Okay, this would have happened maybe.
King d8, king e8, one of these moves.
Yeah, king d8 looks natural. King c7 is our next move, so maybe again a check. But this
Yeah.
is completely winning, right? This is completely winning for black. I'll just go king c8. I don't see any good moves from white now. They cannot hold knight d4, king c7, each and everything.
Yeah.
It should
After bishop
be
h5. I mean, yeah, like even king to e7, I think is good enough instead of king c8. Because king
no king
c8 makes it
e7.
complicated.
They'll just repeat the moves, right?
King e8 then. Same plan.
Yeah, I get it. But maybe in here they'll just
Yeah,
hold the position,
bishop c5.
not allowing knight d4, then going king b3. But okay, I feel
Zagar
this is
goes with
simple,
the
right? This
bishop
is a
e6,
pretty
king
forced
is
and straightforward line.
here.
You just play here and you are asking white, what are you going to play? If you go bishop b4, I have king c7. If you'll go king b3, I have knight d4.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I was trying to see if I could triangulate, but not
Yeah.
really a good way to do it. Yeah. Then
Okay,
king
anyways,
7.
it does not matter. It's like anyways, black should just not give the pawn. That's the point. And black should be winning easily here, right?
Yeah. But
But
now they've
this
made it very complicated for
okay.
no particular reason. And now I think this is just a draw. And I actually really like Dane's chances of winning simply because of the time. Um, so I'm not going to be
Um,
shocked if I see Dane walk away with the full point.
no, actually, black can just win this pawn at any point, right? Like knight a5, knight b7, and take the pawn or something like that.
I don't think so, because Dane's plan is going to be king to c3, king to b4, defending.
So right now, if what else can black do here? Can
I don't
black
think
play? Okay,
there's a lot
I'm
black
not
can do.
sure.
I think this is already drawn.
Should be. Knight b4 was played in the game, and then they just went back. This is something I wouldn't have done for sure, but okay, I don't even know what should be done here.
Yeah, and
So
the
okay.
funny thing is, I think Dane is now trying to play for the win. Which
Can they do it?
no, I mean he's gonna try, but there's no win.
King f3 was played in this position, but what about king d4? This bishop a3? Are they going to
Yeah,
defend it that way?
yeah. I mean, what, like,
But now, okay,
no, actually, king d4, and maybe after bishop a3, you're back in business. Yeah, because after something like king to d3,
and this is what I was also looking at.
bishop to b4.
Okay. Should
No, but then
should we
you have
play
to
a5
no.
here
Then you probably just go back. So maybe you go king to d5 instead.
after bishop a3, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Now bishop b4 is not possible, but king c3 would be played here. But I feel
king
at some
c3,
point
knight
white is
g4.
going to be,
I'm gonna go
yeah,
knight
exactly,
g4.
exactly. You are going to be out of moves.
Yeah, and let's say king d3.
This is made by knight b3 or no?
I think. hmm.
c6 takes king
Okay,
e4.
white is still out of moves, right?
Yep.
Can we go? Can we
Okay,
go
king
a5?
d3 is still important, right?
Can we go a5?
Yes, definitely we can, and I think we should.
I'm
Oh my
concerned.
God,
So
is I feel at some point white is going to fall under zugzwang, but they can
really?
just play bishop c1 here after taking
Yeah.
this bishop e3.
Um, no, but then I go knight b3 and I fork, don't I?
Oh yeah, right. So if you don't have bishop c1, you don't have king c3, you don't have king e3, you don't have king d2. I see bishop b2 as a move,
Bishop b2.
but therein we can just play knight c6, I guess.
Ah, good move. I wasn't even looking at that. Knight c6, and yeah,
And
there's
after
no.
bishop a3, I've got knight b4.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Yeah, and this is just winning. After king c3, king takes. It's just too much.
Okay, let's get to the game. What happened? King instead of king d4 or king d3, white went the other way and then came back. But okay, now after king c4, it's really hard to make progress.
Yeah, I see this game ending in a draw.
Yes, I completely agree.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
2 pawns each and should be a draw.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
are there any more results? Okay, this already done. And yes,
The
this happened
board
the
6
same
is
way
a
that
draw now,
we,
yeah.
yes, this happened the same way as we predicted. This actually happened. Rook d7 happened, gave a check, and queen e8, and after that there was a perpetual
Yep.
and a draw.
Peaceful
Is
result.
um
The
is this
Jordan Tin
possible
game,
just for curiosity purpose?
uh I mean, it might be
Okay,
possible,
I'm
but
sorry.
it's
I'm
it
sorry.
still
I'm
looks.
sorry. This knight is hanging. This knight is hanging. My bad.
I didn't even see that either. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
fine.
So it's just a draw.
Yeah, it's just a draw, and then okay, let's move to
The Jordan game is very interesting.
All right. Oh my God.
I don't know what's happening, but I would. Oh, that can't be right.
I'll show you something.
There's rook g3 in this position, which I think I might play.
What about this?
Knight. King h2.
And then again this. Just for I already see a perpetual, that is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Well, I saw another perpetual. I saw in going back, don't knight, go rook g3 check. And then after king
Oh my
h4,
God.
rook g4 check.
Ah,
This was the perpetual I
okay.
saw.
Okay, fine. So two fancy ideas for a draw.
Yeah.
I see some moves already happening. No, no, right? This is the move. Yeah, this is still the position that we have. No move still.
Yeah, I think he's gotten away with the draw. You could also try if you're ambitious, rook to f1, so pawn to f1, queen, rook takes doesn't quite work, I think.
Um, okay. You mean this?
Yeah, just get the queen here. And maybe keep it complicated. Because now, I mean, queen c8 and you can, I think, perpetual with like queen c. Wait.
Where's the
No, yeah,
perpetual?
you can perpetual
Yes, it is. It
with
is.
queen
You just
c3,
cannot.
king a4, queen c2, and just keep on checking along the line.
Right.
Since all the pieces are locked out.
Agreed. So maybe, yes, this is possible.
Yeah, now queen c6,
And if they take, you are
queen
saying
c3.
this.
Yeah,
And you just keep on checking
queen
along the
c2.
speed bar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
makes sense. If here, again a check. If there, you have got another check. And yes, C2, C3, C6, and C8 are the key squares, and you just keep checking along these squares.
Yeah,
Draw.
I actually I saw this exact same idea when I wasn't playing the game, but I saw somebody facing Jordan, and they had a beautiful rook stack to get into basically exactly this. Unfortunately, they didn't find it. Jordan did go on to win that game, but Jordan is actually the one who pointed this idea out to me in one of the games, and I've been able to
Oh,
swindle some people online with it. So it's a
my
good
God.
one to remember.
That's great. That's awesome.
Hmm.
You're using the same idea and analysis here. And okay, do we have something?
On board one, it looks like there was an exchange sacrifice, and now I think Samrog is gonna win. Why
Oh
did we
my
choose
God. Okay,
to sack the
maybe
exchange?
where were we? Let's. Oh my God, there have been so many moves. So this is where we left the game, and
Yes, an
for
insane
some
decision.
reason,
What?
this is actually
This
insane. Like, why would you do this?
no, I
Okay,
mean this is crazy. Um,
I don't think that crazy is the right word to describe this. I don't know what is this. I just can't comprehend anything at all.
maybe they calculated it correctly, and maybe this is still a draw or evaluated it, but I don't see this being a draw. I can't see this being anything but better, or maybe even winning.
I just see Sammy winning this.
I do too. This is inexplicable.
Like, what was White actually thinking there?
Yeah, because if White has a pass pawn or something, great, but they don't have any play.
Anything. Yeah, exactly. They don't have
There's
anything at all.
no play. That's that's the big issue here. If White had play, then sure, go for it. But there's not even a chance to win for White, which is why we're saying it's insane. Because honestly, the computer might say this is still zeros. And great, the computer is better than me. I'll give it that, right? But
Yeah.
as a human, you can't play this because the computer can draw this easily, but as a human, if you make one wrong move, you're done. That's game. And so just
And also, this is
allowing
not
this,
practically easy to hold.
no, no,
And holding
I
should
would
have
actually
been out
wager
of
the
question.
computers. I would wager the computer says this is winning for black. But I
Let's check it.
okay, yeah, and it does say it's winning. Yeah, it's -2. Um,
Yep, it is. And also, it's like even if it would have been just 0.5 in advantage, black would just keep pressing this all day long without any issues, without any worries. White does not have any counterplay. White does not have any targets. Black's king is not under pressure. I would say it's white's king that could be falling under some mating net. I see this pawn holding this g4 square, rooks being cutting off this king, some rook e2 checks coming in, and I feel it's already very dangerous for white.
yeah, no, I think this is just maybe a desperate attempt to try and make something happen, but I don't. There is nothing to happen. It might still be a draw, actually. Now that I'm looking at this, with the king cut off, maybe this is still in the balance, but
The
only
fact
for
remains this game.
as
This
a
was
human.
just
If an engine
completely
plays it,
unnecessary.
it wins. But yeah, this
Yep.
is frankly shocking that they'd
True.
willingly go into this.
Because we just see, I don't think we see any reason white for white to be doing that, right? Um,
No, no
I just
reasons.
I just don't know. We discussed that white can just play king h2 or rook d2 and it should be fine. I don't know, but I just can't help but check it with the engine if we are right. See, king h2 was your move. King h2 is the
Yeah,
best move.
and
King h2
Furtado.
is engine's top choice.
Yeah, because there's nothing,
It's natural.
and
Yeah.
yeah, that or Rook D2. Apparently King H2, yeah, because you walk out of the pin. But
And okay, I don't know.
it's
It's
weird,
unexplainable.
weird. But we'll see. I do think Samrog has really good winning chances now, but this is still hard, still hard. We'll see though.
All right. And I see only one more game going on,
The Dane
which
game,
is yes.
I actually am starting to like chances again after knight G5. Oh no, because you could just sack the bishop. So no, this is still a draw. Yeah, knight G5,
And then
and then what? Like bishop to E3.
I feel yes, this should be the only right way to play.
Yeah, and then
Yeah. Did this happen? I guess yes, this did happen.
yeah, and then I mean knight H7 I think is the only move to try and keep the game going.
But okay,
Just block out the king. But I mean king D4 draw.
should be a draw. Yep. I guess this is going to end in a draw, and there were some results. I guess in yeah, Jordan's game, and the night promotion happened, and it was a draw.
I liked my rook G3 check better. I think it was cute.
I'm happy with the fact that my variation happened on board.
I
So
yeah, yeah.
no issues.
No, I'm actually surprised we didn't see F1 equals queen though, because with Dane having so little time, I feel like F1 queen is going to give you the best chances to potentially win.
Yes, I completely agree with you, but I guess it should be a simple draw after just queen a4 as well. If you just want to give a perpetual,
Yeah,
right?
even queen a4 is
Pretty
fine. Yeah.
easy. Yeah, pretty easy. Just
Yeah.
direct idea.
Yeah. No, so maybe he saw, but I would have forced white to make the decision there, because if I'm already going to draw, make white make the draw, because what if they get greedy? So that's just, you
True.
know. So yeah,
I
very,
agree.
I mean, the escape artist here, Jordan. walking away from a dead lost position.
But oh my
But
God, what a game this was.
yeah, I mean, I would not have told you that this game was going to end peacefully, having seen the middle game.
Same goes for me. No one can
But
expect this. Also,
no,
for me, this was the most entertaining game of the round.
I
In
agree.
terms of entertainment, in terms of up and downs, okay. And also oh my God, the complications in the position. This
Yeah.
was the craziest game.
No, and of course for the engines this is easy. They're saying, blunders left and right, but for humans, all these moves were very reasonable, and there's a reason that we flipped on the engine for this game. we,
Yeah,
we,
very.
we I don't usually like engine if we can avoid it, but there's too much going on, and only the engines can really figure that one out. So
Exactly, exactly. And we only have got two games going on the first board and the eighth board. Just for your viewers, from board 2 to 7, the games are over. On second board, it was draw, Smith's game. On third board, Yusuf won this.
yeah, and the last board is a draw now, because they've decided to trade off the pawns, so it's going to on Dane's board end very peacefully, it looks like. So
All
I
right.
think that'll
So
be.
I'm just going to cover it up quickly. Jordan drew against Mats and Dane, and I see Irene defeating Rishabh. Okay, we did not even see how did this end up, right?
Oh yeah, we didn't see how like we were saying that we thought Irene was gonna win, but we didn't actually see her technique here.
And something crazy happened. And what was the position? Yeah, this was the position we left the game at. Okay, white played bishop d6, king e4 happened,
Right.
and I actually like this move.
It's very tricky. Yeah, and she was actually hoping for this move because now she gets a bunch of tempos, and I don't actually see a way that you hold this position anymore. As crazy as it sounds, I think that's a losing
Yeah,
move.
because of I feel that this a pawn is going to get lost sooner or later.
Yeah, and maybe the engine
Oh
can
my
hold
God,
it.
okay. This was the final blow.
Yeah, the knight b6 is just it's a lazy move. You need to do your calculations. After king e2, it's probably still barely holdable.
You sure?
Or king e3. Yeah, I mean,
Again, it's like
what's your claim?
not easy at all.
No, you go here. I'll go knight b6.
Now it's different. Your king has one extra tempo.
Yeah,
Yep.
because I'm
The
catching.
fact that Connor is making in this position is that now after, as your king is on e2, you
And now
can get
king
in king
d3.
d3,
Yep.
and you get in this,
Yeah,
and
and so
you get in b7, and it's a draw.
yeah, and honestly, I don't know if I would have seen this in game. The only reason I saw this is because I fast forwarded through the game and I saw that I was one tempo short, and I was like,
Ah,
let's
okay.
gain one tempo. Because
All
I'll be
right.
frank, if we were playing this in an OTB game and I didn't see this, I wouldn't have found it. But yeah, in this position, you can see this was the position I saw, and I was like, if I had one more tempo. So
Ah, all right.
that's the
I get it
only.
now.
And so it's not like it's easy, but I think that it's holdable. Actually, I'm gonna cheat again. Let me check with the engine. Sorry, it's just these positions once you're in end games. Uh, yeah, it does say king e2 is drawing, and is it because of my line rook b3? Yeah, and it's because of the exact line. Yeah. Okay, so
Should be because of the exact line, because I don't see any other move than knight b6 being played here.
yeah. The
So
engine
yeah.
actually points out rook b3 is maybe not the best move. You can go rook b2, and hopefully you see like a king to e1, or even king e1 is drawing. Yeah, okay. No, everything is drawn, I guess. But still, yeah, it's just, yeah.
Got it. So this game would have ended in a draw, but White got hasty and played knight b6 one move earlier, and yeah, it was just a blunder.
Yeah. And this
And
is
yeah,
a
Irene
little
made
too
use of
easy.
it. Actually got ended pretty suddenly, so
Yeah.
not
And
a risk,
we'd been
I would
saying this for a long time. We thought Irene was gonna find a way to win this just because White, I think, just had the mental pressure of facing someone a lot stronger. And even though, white probably had an edge, they were clearly not comfortable playing this. They were making moves. There were some really obvious moves, if you're not having nerves. But when you have nerves and you start making these dubious plays, it can slip very quickly.
Definitely. I completely agree with whatever points you made. And okay, I see. Okay, this is already drawn.
Yeah.
I don't know why
I'm
the clocks are still running.
yeah,
This would be drawn soon, and maybe we'll just stick to board one for now.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, this one, like I said, I think we're gonna find a way, but I don't actually see a way to break through. So maybe white is holding.
Also, I feel Black has not made the best couple of moves, or best has used the best ideas as soon as Black got an extra exchange. Let's say if we talk about, let me fast forward few moves. Let's say if we talk about this position, or I'll make even few more extra moves. White, I mean Black forced White to go G3, and H5 came in.
Mm-hmm.
H5, I don't think so. It shouldn't be bad, right? Like that pawn
No,
actually
it
holds
can't be.
both the pawns, and it looks good. Looks fine enough. I was just thinking, if I'm Black and if I've trapped White's king in a corner, I would like to make use of that fact. But uh, especially in this position, is nothing happening? Okay, the issue is after rook e2, you just cannot free this rook because you have to hold it down to hold this pawn.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the fact, if you had your pawn on h7, allowed White's king to move freely to h3 g4. So okay, you have to make compromises somewhere. So okay, I understand that. And even
Yeah.
here, I feel Black wasn't happy playing rook d5, but Black just do not see any breaking points, because I know that as Black's perspective, you actually want this king to be cut off, but also you don't see how to make progress doing that. So you just go rook d5, and then you repeat couple of times, and yeah, Black actually don't know how to make progress. That is for sure.
No, I don't either. um,
Yeah, same goes for me. I'm on the same page as well. But it's like
yeah. I mean,
you need
I
some
can see this.
breakthroughs.
Just white goes rook to a7 here, cuts the king off again, and it's probably just a draw. Yeah, like
Yeah,
rook
maybe
a7, king e8. Although we may
analyze
see
a
king
bit.
g6 with uh rook g7, king f5, and then
I would actually like to play this if
no,
I
but
get my king in
I
somewhere.
think white gets g4 now and then gets the pass pawn.
But should
The point is
White
after takes we go rook g5, which forces king to e4, and then we take on g4 check.
got it?
And now this, I feel like
You need to go if you are playing for a win.
yeah, yeah, this d3 move there's not so much anymore.
Makes
Maybe
sense.
I even go sorry, rook g3, king c2, and maybe I get behind it with like rook to h3 or something.
Yep, a typical idea, but
Yeah.
you just need to be a bit careful.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe go. Actually, rook g5 is also a really nice move here instead of back, because the point is after I take, I can put my bishop on f6.
And that, okay, Black is definitely not winning that. Even Black might be losing that if White gets in king to f5 all along.
Yeah, and once you move, now I probably go h5, and I say, yeah, I'm drawing.
So let's say rook d3 happens,
I probably still go h5, yeah.
and then, yeah,
Okay,
and then you
you
go
you
king.
get behind. I'll go rook g6 now. I'm just gonna keep walking my pawn off the board.
This looks interesting. This definitely looks interesting. Okay, at least I can hold the pawns, that much I know, but I don't think so if black can make any progress.
I'll go
H6,
h6.
yeah.
And now I will probably go bishop g7.
Yep. And my a6 pawn is also hanging. I have to push this or do something.
a5, rook g5.
Then we have got rook h5.
And then, yeah, maybe that's all my tricks.
Yeah, I get it, but I also don't see if black can make any progress.
Yeah, I think after trade king g3, it's just a draw.
Yeah, should be. The easiest draw is I'll just take this h6 pawn, take the b2 pawn. It's just draw.
Yeah.
So okay, let's go back to the game. I see some moves happening here. What did actually happen? Rook g8 happened, king g6 happened. So we might see this rook g8, rook g5 line happening on
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, with the g4, I think at this level they're gonna see that plan. It's not super complicated, so
Also, check here. G4
g4.
check. Is this move possible?
Maybe, but I think I can take. Maybe even yeah,
If
I
you
probably
push, I
check.
just want to go king g4. I don't know if I'm getting something, but I just like that fancy idea. So
No, I
that
think king
might
f4 is
backfire
maybe
as
the
well.
most challenging. So after g takes, rook takes. Yeah, but this is still a drawn endgame, even if the pawn isn't there, yeah?
Yeah, but then again, it's like black would just press all along.
Okay, if I'm desperate, I'll go bishop d2 check, king e4, and then like bishop g5.
Yes, this is what I was thinking as well. And this actually does not look that bad,
No.
especially when white's gets in king g3, king g4. It's like, okay, white is actually pretty active.
Yeah.
Looks
Yeah.
good. Rook g8. Okay, did it happen? It did, right?
Yeah, I think he sees the exact same line that we were talking about.
So rook g8 did happen, and king f5 is on the board. So we might see g4.
Yeah, I mean g4 is I think too easy to draw once you play it. But question is, does he see it? I suspect he does, because otherwise it's insane to let the black king in like this. But
Because if black just gets in king e4 without any complications, black is super happy, I would say.
yeah, no, but g4 is really it's a fundamental move. So I have a feeling we're gonna see it, and maybe he'll do some calculation just to confirm. But this looks like the best way to simplify. Although white has a point. They could do something like king g2 and just sit on the position and do nothing, because there's also not really a great way for black to make progress here.
I agree with that fact as well. It's like we don't see any great. Okay, we see a couple of moves,
Yeah,
or we don't.
nothing has been played quite yet on the live board. I'm sitting on the live board.
All right.
But
So okay, let's just see the fact that what if white just does not do anything at all? If white just plays king g2, is something happening here? Does black have any good plans? But
not that
okay,
I'm
let's
seeing.
let's just for example, if black goes king e4, at
And
some
king
point we
back.
are going to go g4, right? Like okay, king f this makes
Yeah,
sense.
I mean, yeah, you can go g4, but you can also just sit and do nothing.
Yeah, but g4 now I'll be considering this move with even more seriously because of rook e2 check. This king might be in danger.
Yeah,
So I guess king f2 here it's necessary. And
just sit and do nothing.
some
Yeah,
check,
and I'll go back.
and then I'll go here. I just want to get in my rooks to create something. I don't know if I'm getting something or not.
And now I go g4 here.
Do we have some checks? Rook e2.
Just go up.
And then rook e3.
and then I go down.
Yeah, but it looks a bit scary, right? Or no? Let's
No,
say
because I'm not trapped, am I? If I was trapped, maybe this is scary, but since I'm not under any threat, there's not a lot to do.
I just want to. Okay, nothing is happening. I was just looking at h takes g4, rook takes g4, king e2, getting some kind of rook f2 as well.
Yeah, but I can go rook g3 here and then king h3, and I think I'm okay.
Here I'm not sure
King
because
h3?
I'll just go rook f3 here. If you'll take, I'll
Oh,
take with the king.
yeah, and then probably h5. It feels okay.
Yeah, makes sense. Almost nothing is happening here.
Maybe I've actually king f4 here. Maybe I missed this.
King f4 here.
And then rook e2. And then it gets complicated.
It does. It definitely does.
Yeah, so maybe it's not as simple as I thought. I still think
It's
it's
not
probably a
like
draw,
white
but
just
it's
cannot get careless, but in most of the variation, white manages to hold with a draw,
yeah.
especially the variation which we saw. So I guess white is still thinking. White hasn't decided on g4. But if this
No.
happens, I guess it's much easier than what we were currently looking at. White does not need to waste time. White can get a simplified position already.
Yeah. And I'm thinking g4 is probably what's being considered here. We see king g2, which is the
Oh, we
other
see
move we
king
were
g2.
talking about. Yeah,
Yep.
which I think is still playable. It's a nothing move.
True. Right.
And yeah, I think White is feeling the same way we do, where like, there's not really a huge rush. Maybe we get tricked, but I don't see how we get tricked yet. So let's just play king g2, right?
I'm also hoping black to play king e4 here because that is how you will make something. Otherwise, yeah, it's easy draw.
Yeah, I would be shocked if Samurg didn't play this move because what are you even playing for if you're not playing that, right? So yeah, once we see this move, um, actually an interesting line that I'm considering is maybe we go rook g5 and after rook g5 pawn g5. No, but then you
We'll
probably
just
have
play
like
king f5 back, right?
king f5, and then I was thinking bishop f6,
Yeah,
but
but
then
that looks unnecessary. I'll just go king here as well.
yeah, and
Or
I
maybe
just I realized that no, I think you're correct, and then I have to go back to c3 probably with my bishop and lose the pawn, and then it's losing. So no, I can't quite play there. We can
also it's
probably
quite
still go
unnecessary.
g4
You
though.
just
G4 I still think is playable because you
again
said
we
king
I was just
f4,
thinking this. Yeah.
h takes, and then bishop d2 check, and this bishop g5 idea, and it's still a draw.
Um, you mean after king f4 you want to take this pawn on h5?
Yeah,
All right. Does rook e2 check? Is rook e2 check a good move here?
king f1,
And then we just play rook h2.
h6.
Oh no. Oh, this is good because
I
this
should
is like
probably have done
why.
more calculation. Yeah, I should have done. I actually missed this rook d1. Let's do calculation. Rook
But I guess
bishop
this
b1.
does this work luckily or
I actually didn't see this line. It might not work. Okay, after rook h1, king f2.
rook h1, king f2, you take there, there's h7, check there, check there,
King h2 or king h2.
check there.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Somehow it
I might have
works.
I lucked into this. I actually forgot about rook
Yeah,
d1.
exactly, exactly. But I feel after this check, if you'll go king f2, okay, yeah, this still works. Oh my god. I was looking at this, but yeah, king e2 actually
And
just
then after rook
both the rooks are
e1,
held
king
back.
e1, rook takes h6, it's a draw.
Yeah, it's a draw. Easy draw. Oh my god. So yeah, I
So
thought
no,
you saw
okay,
look,
but this
you're
shouldn't
fine.
have worked, but it does. So yeah,
Luck
no,
for luck
I
is
forgot
working
about
in
rook
your
e1.
favor today. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's all good.
Yeah, this is, but I think this just is to show that it is not as scary as it maybe looks, considering all these lines are working out despite not having even considered them. Oops.
True. And we observe that Sammy is still thinking. He hasn't. Oh, he did not play king e4.
You know, we'll probably see rook e8, cutting
Rook
off the king.
e8 makes sense. And what is he actually planning? Is he planning rook d3?
Rook e3.
No, rook d3 is a blunder, right? It
No,
fails to rook
rook
e5.
e5, and then after king
Yes,
g4, rook e4,
rook e4.
and then
Yeah,
check, 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 check.
and yes, this is just a draw.
I mean, yeah. Rook e8
So
is, I think, cutting off the
pretty much.
king seems like it makes sense. You can also consider something like rook h8 here, maybe. No, rook h8, king g4, maybe.
But even then, nothing is happening,
Maybe even
right?
king e4,
If
king e4
yeah,
scarier.
king e4 actually makes sense because as for king g4, I guess rook f8 is happening here.
Yeah,
Then you go rook f5, then I'll go, I don't know, rook e8 or rook d4, again giving a check sideways. I don't see any progress being made. Instead, it gets
no.
scary for this king.
Yeah, you might actually be mated.
Yeah, exactly. If you're careless, you are definitely going to be mated.
Yeah.
I really like this bishop though. It's stopping all the important squares, it's covering everything. Rook f6, rook e5, rook d2, and yeah, more or less almost every key square.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we do
So,
see
okay, we
rook
see rook
e8.
e8 on
This
board.
is the most reasonable play that I saw as well. And now we'll probably see.
I think we'll just see rook e6 again. And after rook g8, white, black then might play king e4. That is possible.
I would I would seriously consider something like rook to g4 if I were black here. Just because I don't want to repeat the position, and rook g4 is just a no nonsense move. That, or you can go like let me think. Yeah, rook c6 is same
Okay,
idea. You're just trying not to repeat the position.
makes
Um,
sense.
because your opponent is down to a minute, or I guess 2 minutes, right? So why make it easy for them?
I'm also seeing Sammy somehow converting this to an rook endgame in some position. He might sacrifice something here, and maybe if he is winning 2 pawns here, he might be thinking about it.
Yeah, I still think this is a draw after like king f3, because then what to play? But
King
he's
f3,
gonna
another check,
no just back up.
just king g2 again.
I mean f2 g2. I
Yeah,
think it's
f2
all the
makes
same.
sense. Yeah, f2 makes sense.
No, I like g2 a little bit better.
Because of
This
king g4, king h3 happening there as well.
yeah
There's a possibility. So yeah, king g2 makes more sense. And can black actually take on c3 here?
if they want to draw, sure. Pawn takes. It takes, and then probably what rook h5 or something. But we
Okay,
see them move
sure.
king to f2 instead of king f3. Same idea though.
Hmm. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
They just directly played king f2 instead of king f3 then rook d3. So yeah, I also feel black is just trying to exhaust white as well. It has been a long game,
Yeah,
and
I think that's fair. Yeah. Do we see king g4 here? King G4, King G2. And repeat.
Yes. But then, is this a move? Oh, we have some intermediate checks. We have some intermediate checks. I thought I was looking at this,
Yeah, it
but
takes rook G8 right away, and this is maybe even
wait,
white is for choice.
yeah, rook c3 and then rook g8.
Yeah, now I would actually prefer white in this position. And
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. White's a pawn up here. So this is not happening because of an
we see
intermediate check.
rook E6 instead, and this is, I think, a repeat of the position we saw earlier. And now we're probably going to see rook G8. And it's the same position. I'm surprised it hasn't been blitzed out already, unless white is thinking, maybe I can win here, which seems naive.
No, I don't think so. That is something that white can think about here.
Ah, wait. No, this is slightly different because it's black's turn after rook G8.
Yep.
So now maybe.
No, but actually this happened, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a difference in what in king's position. Let's say after king e4, their king was on g2. So we were discussing g4, king f4 with rook e2 ideas. Now their king is on e2. That's not black does not have the same ideas here. Let's say if g4 happens after king f4, there are no rook e2 checks.
Yeah.
So I guess this is even more easier.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So that's the difference. And yeah, rook g8 happened. And will we see king e4 here? Somehow I feel
Yeah,
no.
rook
Yes,
G6,
exactly.
this is a repeat, and now we're going to go probably rook back to E8.
Are we going to see identical
Oh,
repetition?
wait, no. If we go rook back to D8, now rook D3 has some venom. Oh,
Like how?
because rook D3 now.
And then we saw this, right?
No, but now after
King
after
g4, we have king h3. You're right.
yeah.
Oh my god. True.
Yeah, the king needs to be on G2 for that to work. So maybe rook F8 here.
Yes, and rook f8 was indeed played, but still king g4, then king g2. Okay, fine. Nothing is happening. If king g4, then they'll go king g2. Again, this bishop performing a wonderful role. Rook d2 check is not in place, and white is
Yeah.
threatening rook f4 checkmate.
Yeah. And after king E4, rook F4, and I don't see it working because now we get G4 after king D3. And that's ultimately all we need to do.
King e4 was played, and
Yeah, but now rook F4, king D3, G4.
wait,
Same plan as before.
rook f4 here, and then
G4. Same plan.
but g4 you're not getting it, right? Rook takes or what?
Rook takes, and then king G3 after
King
pawn takes.
g3.
And the bishop covers D4, pawn covers
Kings.
G5.
All right.
Because all we need to do is create a pass pawn. This is going to be a draw.
I am seeing something. Okay, herein they'll give a check and then they'll take. Again,
Yep.
I was just looking at some silly tactics such
King,
as
no, but
this.
king E4. Sorry, rook
But
E4 forcing the king away.
but
Yeah.
yeah, first you give a check and then you take it, and I don't think anything is happening.
No.
So yeah, you are right. But surprisingly, rook h8 happened.
I'm wondering if he's not seeing this G4 plan. It seems
But
fairly
is it?
principled.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is it possible that white wouldn't even consider g4?
Yeah, maybe conceptually G4 is not as strong as I think it is. It's possible.
Or
Like
maybe
king back
white
to
is
G2.
thinking that they can just hold down their structure and white black cannot break in.
Yeah. Okay, so king G2 really the only move.
That is definitely going to be played, and yes, it is on the board.
Yeah, and we'll probably get, I don't know, king D3 or something.
I'm actually almost out of ideas. I only see somehow this king getting to the queen side, and you might, I don't know, give up your rooks or something. That's the only. plan I see. Black is unable to attack this pawn with both of its rooks. Black has to keep one of its rooks to defend this pawn. The king does not have any targets. This king is not under any checkmating threats.
What I think the plan to win the game is going to be king d2, king c2, king b3, king
Yeah,
a4, and then getting some a5. That's the only way I can think of
that is
winning, but I
something
I
I
don't think
also
that
saw.
works.
The issue with that is this rook is so flexible that it can always jump to a8 and or something,
Yeah.
and you might lose one of the pawns if you just try to push them forcibly. But okay, let's see. Time is running down for Sammy as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, 3.5 minutes. Yuan having a minute on the clock. Things might wrap up quickly
Yeah, no, this
once
is
both the
this is a
players get.
very
Mhm.
very complicated for sure. For winning chances for black, but I think for white the problem is it's complicated for black. It's fairly easy for white. And that's I think the issue here. So I think it's probably going to be a draw.
I think so, yes, as well. It might end up in a draw. It's highly likely. For me, okay, rook e6 is played. Again, the question is same, like what is black actually planning here? Um, okay, I'm still almost out of ideas. What if, yeah, rook d8? That is what I was thinking as well. Just cut off the king and ask black, what are you doing here?
Yeah. Maybe you go
Is
rook
black
back to
interested
d5.
in getting it?
Rook back to d5 and then try and get your king d3 in.
If you're playing for a win, then obviously you have to try all those stuff because, again, you don't have so many ideas to try. King e3 is another move which I was considering. Like, okay, maybe just go king e3, maybe king e2, get in rook f2. I don't know.
It's
Also,
interesting.
rook f2 check directly is an idea.
Trying to think. Could you go?
I'm actually starting to like this move, but okay. Facts remains the same that if you're not fast enough to create any threats, white is simply going to go rook g5 or rook h8 and grab that one.
Yeah. Trying to think how you can create chances here. Do you still go king d3, king c2, king b3? Or maybe you have more concrete plans now.
Okay.
Looking at rook f2, I'm not seeing how to get rook f2 working. So because rook f2, I say king h3,
King h3. Yeah.
and then g4 is in the cards again.
I just don't know where to keep this other rook. Like it's not getting in anyhow.
Yeah.
And as soon as you move your rooks, you just need to get rid of those annoying checks. And the
Yeah.
fact that you cannot lose this pawn. So again, I'm okay. Rook f2, king h3. Do we have something concrete? I don't think so. If not, then how is black making any progress? Again, that's the question.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. Oh
Okay, I'm
goodness.
just going to use some assistance. I really want to know the evaluation of this position. The engine says it's still winning for black pretty much clearly. So it
What's the
sees a
plan?
plan. We are not seeing that. Okay,
Ah,
it
it's
says
okay.
king
It
d3, king
actually no,
c2,
we
king
did
d3.
see the plan. It says king d3,
Yeah.
king c2, king b3.
And it says king a2 at some point.
Weird. Okay, can you play through this line for me?
Okay, so king d3, it says rook d8, king
King c2.
c2. It says rook d2 as well. Like, is it forced for white to go rook d2? Otherwise, what is happening? Let me play some. Can we play some waiting move here?
Rook h8 or something, yeah.
Okay, let's say rook h8 happens. Then what is happening? It says
Rook
rook e2
e2.
check, king h3, and then king b3. They want to take on b2? Let's say rook h6 happens. They want to go rook c2. Okay. So basically, if you take this pawn, my h5 pawn gets freed, so my rook is freed. I can just go rook f2 and mate you. So you cannot actually grab that pawn on h6.
Yeah.
And what else you have got? Will you move your bishop away? It says, okay, let's suppose rook h7 happens. It uses your idea.
Yeah, this was the only way I thought you could break through, but I didn't think it worked.
Yeah,
Go.
same goes for me. I also thought that this might not work.
Yeah, rook h6 is fine. Just waiting.
Now I
And then
get it. I get it. The
a5.
point that they cannot leave that h5 pawn. After rook a6, they are going to go rook f2.
Wow. Deep.
Is that it? No, it's not it. Because rook takes a5 comes in with a check, rook takes b5 comes in with a check, and rook takes h5 is also lost. Oh my god. Oof. But they are first playing king b3.
And now
And if you
after
take here, yeah, oh my god, they are playing king a2 with the idea of rook f2. This is insane.
yeah, I mean, this is why the engines are better than us.
This is insane. No, this is definitely not
And then you
easy.
win the
Okay,
bishop.
we don't see it.
Yeah.
We saw rook f2 check happening, and then white just played rook f3, and yeah, rook g5. This is what I was talking about, and now it's a draw.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm at least happy we saw halfway through.
Yeah.
Halfway through the winning plan. Okay, I'm not sure if you would have seen king c2, king b3, king a4, then again king b3 and king a2 as the winning idea. Oh my god.
But who knows? If you play this idea, you start getting desperate, and then maybe you go, "Oh wait."
True. Okay,
And now
suddenly it shows
wait, f1. Why can't I take the h5 pawn?
they can actually just take it. It says
Did
winning for
Samar
white now.
miss that?
Is there something to miss here? There are no checkmating ideas. There's nothing. White can just play rook g5 next, and white is happy. Bishop c3, rook g5, and white starts pushing. This king is completely misplaced now. Oh, we might see some turnaround in this game as well. Let's see if rook takes h5 has not happened yet, but obviously white is going to take that pawn.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's thinking, considering he's down to about a minute. I would have expected this to maybe he's thinking, Samar can't have missed this.
I don't know, like what did Sammy miss bishop d4 check actually, or what? But that is also not something to miss, right? Like this is pretty straightforward. One would give you a check and then take this pawn.
Yeah.
But it is possible.
Yeah, and he takes, and now
Did this happen? Yeah, it did happen.
yeah, okay. King e2 and it's still probably holdable, but it's uncomfortable.
No, now I feel like white actually has got some good practical chances, especially if you look at the graph of the game, right? They sacrifice in exchange, toyed with black's mind, and then suddenly they are holding down the position. Suddenly white has a good position.
Yeah.
The Indian says +2 for white.
Yeah, this is rather surprising, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, rook here, probably bishop c3, just
Yes,
very
bishop
very
c3 for
slow.
sure. Yeah,
And
this is
then
going to happen.
yeah,
And
actually I really like white's chances. Bishop c3, is it the idea king f2, but then rook g5 and what to play?
surprisingly, rook e3 is a blunder. After bishop d4, it's all over.
Yeah, exactly, and this is what I was looking at as well. No, I think white wins this. This is incredible.
I guess we'll just stick to the game. So rook takes h5, rook e4, and okay, white hasn't made any move, and I'm seeing 5 seconds on the clock. I feel that they must have already made the move. It's only not updated here.
Yeah. This I would expect it to be a DD tier, but it's also possible just you got so enthralled in the position that Ivan wasn't paying attention. That's I've actually beaten a few masters like that where they were like they had 5 minutes left and they sat there for 6 and they lost.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. That also happens, but okay.
No,
Yeah,
no,
see,
we got
we have
moves.
some
We got
updates.
moves.
We have some
Yeah,
updates.
it looks like he moved with about a second left on the clock.
So rook d5 happened. Yeah, he moved with 6 seconds on the clock. King e2, and then oh, this is good. I
No,
feel
rook e5 takes, and yeah, like I
and
was
it's
saying,
draw.
this is drawish.
Yeah, it's draw. It's draw.
Is it actually a draw? I don't know, but it looks very drawish.
Is rook takes e5 the only move? I'm also considering king d3 here.
No, king d3 I think is playable, but rook d5 I think is just the most simple. After rook d5, bishop d5, rook to f5, it looks pretty good.
King d3 happened on the board.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
King d3 did happen on the board. And okay, somehow I feel we are going to get faster updates now. Position has simplified. Also, both sides have only few minutes on clock. Not even few minutes.
Yeah, and this looks trash, and I'm looking at the engine eval now, and it is zeros. So yeah, and
Yep.
basically any bishop move that don't hang a bishop, as long as it stays on the long diagonal, is winning.
I was
So-
considering this here.
Oh yeah, this is a cute move. King g4, and then just move and
Yes, you don't
bishop
just
c3.
allow black to go king f5. That was my whole idea. And like, first of all, you need to move your rook. So what are you going to play here?
Yeah. No, it's just
Are there more tricks? Like, what is black going to play here?
I don't know. Maybe yeah, this is good enough. Yeah, now they can't get in.
Maybe
I think Black's
maybe
only
a
idea
check
was
from
maybe to get in.
front.
Yeah, but White ended up playing king to g2 in this position. In not in this position, in the position before instead of g4. So after king g2, I think it's just now there is no trick like that, yeah. So yeah, we
This
see
gets
rook
easier
here
for
and bishop c3.
I was trying to be ambitious with king g4, trying to get in some ideas, but okay.
Yeah, and now we're on this
Maybe
is
we
the
are
live
seeing king
position.
f5, right?
Yeah, I believe this is the live position. I think
Yes.
we can probably pretty safely say this will be a draw.
I guess we are going to see king f5 on board. King f5, king g4, and they should shake hands.
king f5, king h3, and shake
Yeah,
hands.
yeah, king king h3 here, shake hands. Even h5 according to the engine.
Okay.
Everything. King f2 as well. Even bishop e1. Like it's just there's too many options.
Yeah, but I guess king h3 would be played here.
Yeah.
That is what I'm feeling, but okay, let's see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
king
we see
h3
king
was
h3.
played.
And we're probably gonna see the handshake. I don't know if we need to look at this match too much more because there's just at this point there aren't any tricks left, and that's the big issue.
True. I agree. And I think more or less this will end in a draw, and we can call it there.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good recap there. So we've got a draw on board 1, board 2, board 3. It looks like Black came up with the win, and a draw on board 4. Irene winning on board 5, and then board 6 draw, and then a very nice win by Ryan on board 7, and then a draw. So we
Yes,
have 1,
I
2,
really
3,
like this
4,
one, and
5 of the top 8 boards ending in draws. So fairly peaceful results. And very interesting. We got 2 Black wins, so Black is pulling ahead here. I always make the joke whenever stuff like this happens. It's obvious black has the advantage from the start by how many wins black has. Of course, this isn't true,
Yeah.
but I feel like white always gets into trouble when they try and overpush. So I think that's just what's been happening here.
True. And yes, that was quite a good recap here. Sooner this game would be over as well. And it was great time here for me. And once again, thanks for Chess Castle of Minnesota for inviting me. And hope to meet you guys once again in future. And I wish you all good luck for keep organizing these kind of great events. Hoping to visit US myself soon in near future, and hope to meet you guys as well.
Yep, I see one question in the chat. How many rounds there are? There are 5 rounds in this tournament, I believe. So there's one more round left. But I will not be commentating that one. I believe there might be somebody else doing that if we have commentary at all. So one more round to decide who the winners are. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty close one, especially with draws on the top 2 boards. A bunch of people in contention.
True.
All
And
right.
quite a tough tournament. And yes, that is it.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for commentating me. It was a pleasure. And yeah, it was really fun looking at all these games, especially the Jordan Tin game. Just the ups and downs. That one was absolutely wild, and it was really fun to watch. All right. We'll wait for Chris to confirm when things are wrapped up on the Chess Castle YouTube side, but we can just keep the chess game on just so viewers can watch it.
Sure. This is the live feed that we are seeing, and yep, it's from Ojasva signing off for you guys.
All right.
All right.